everyone! Old School Pokemon here, back again with podcast episode number 36, joined by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectables, Dan. And tonight we have a special guest, EchoBase, joining us. Thank you for joining us tonight.
No problem. Glad to be on. Thank you guys so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Thank you.
Very excited to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing tonight? Yeah,
doing great. It's been a very busy week. Been good though. Been a good week in our hobby. Can't wait to talk about it. But yeah, it's been doing really good. Busy personally too. Had the fiance and the kids move in on Saturday a couple days ago, so it's been interesting. They're actually upstairs right now, going to bed. But yeah, she works nights, so she's in the hospital right now, and I'm here doing this. And it's been a lot easier adjustment than I thought it would be, integrating the two schedules and everything. So it's good. It's good. It's exciting.
That's good. Yeah, I've been super busy this week too. But I guess before we get too much into that, if you just want to introduce yourself to anyone who's unfamiliar.
Sure. My name's Joe, EchoBase Collectables. I have been collecting. Maybe you've seen me on some of the other podcast channels. I have a YouTube channel as well. But a little backstory. I got into Pokemon like almost everyone in 1998, right when it came out. I'll make this a short story. I ended up running 4 leagues, judged pretty much every East Coast premier event, all the gym challenges, the stadium challenges. Played in the first Super Trainer Showdown. Went to play, ended up judging nationals a few times. Played in nationals once. Went to Worlds 3 times. Top 16 twice. Top 10 at Fan Appreciation Tournament, which was the Worlds that year when Nintendo took over from Wizards. That was a very interesting time. Kind of migrated with my friend base. We got into D&D, migrated over to Magic. Never got rid of my cards. Last set I picked up was Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which is a fantastic set. Ended up spending more of my time outside of introspective hobbies, card hobbies and stuff like that. Got more back into powerlifting. I mean, I was in football and wrestling all growing up in high school and stuff, but met my former wife, and spent more time socializing, less time for collecting. And then once we bought our house 2 years ago, I had made her the promise that once I had the space to sort my collections, because I have other collectibles too. It wasn't just Pokemon. I collected a lot of things, that I would start to unload some of it, because it was a lot of stuff, a lot of boxes. And as I started to, I had no idea. So I started to literally unpack my stuff after Logan Paul happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't even know that happened. So I'm looking up. The first thing I did was I went on eBay and just did Pokemon sold. Like, I've had my eBay account since 2001. I actually had my YouTube channel since 2012. I have some of the oldest pack opening videos on YouTube. But I went to, like everybody, I went to eBay, just did Pokemon completed listings, sort highest to lowest. And I started looking at some of the prices of the cards, and I was like, I have that. I have that. I have that too. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is serious. Like, when did this happen? And that's when I started to look into it more and more. And this was all during the pandemic. So I tried to reach out to a lot of my friends to like try and, talk about it, and no one was playing anymore. And I felt kind of isolated because none of my friends that I grew up with, I had no one to talk to about this. So I was like, all right, well, let me start my YouTube channel again just to have an outlet, because I wanted to start to get cards again, because I missed it too. I wanted to play again. And I quickly learned the frustrations of driving from Target to Walmart to GameStop to everywhere, trying to buy anything, and you couldn't buy anything. Mm-hmm. So that led me to want to get in with a distributor, literally just to get cards for myself at first. I just wanted to get enough cards so that I could get boxes for free, basically sell 2 or 3 cases, keep 2 or 3 boxes. Well, that quickly turned into making this a business. And I could elaborate more and more and more, but that's the gist of where I came from to where I'm at now. My goals have shifted and changed over that course of that time. One thing I'm very proud of is I established my business at arguably one of the hardest times to do it. And I did it not touching hardly any of my personal collection. I'd say less than 10%, less than 5% of my stuff I actually had to sell to get to where I'm at now, which is I'm in a good, comfortable position where I can achieve my goals without having to get rid of anything, which is where I started. I started this whole thing with, okay, I'm just going to sell everything and just move on, to no, I'm going to keep all my stuff and still enjoy this again. And yeah, so that's where I'm at.
That's good. Yeah, I'm sure people will definitely see as we answer all these questions your unique perspective, having been so deep into like playing the game, which Nick and I have none of that. So always good to get a unique perspective on some of the questions.
Yeah, that's one thing that surprised me is the amount of people that are in our hobby now that just don't play or haven't. And it's a lot. It's more, we'll get into it, but it's more than that is not the way it used to be at all, which is, I think it's kind of cool because it allows more people to enjoy the cards. We've obviously grown exponentially since, mid 2000s when it was almost dead. So, yeah.
Yeah. With that, we'll hop right into the Q&A.
All right.
One thing before we hop into the Q&A, next podcast.
Good call.
Dan slacking over there. Next podcast, it'll be just me and Dan. We won't have a special guest, but we're planning on doing that podcast as a live episode. So instead of recording like normal Wednesday night and uploading Thursday afternoon, we'll just create a live stream event for Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully some of you guys can join us in there.
Good call. So yeah, do we want them to leave questions on this one, or probably just bring them?
Just bring them. Yeah.
Not everyone will be able to bring them to the live because it will be like business hours, but ideally bring them there. If you have some though, feel free to leave them, and we'll try to get to all those before we get into the the live chat Q&A.
But yeah, no, that should be a good time for sure. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's why there's two of us here. Nick picking up the slack that I was just about to blaze right through. So I think we're good now. With that, we'll hop into the Q&A.
Let's go for it.
Scott R asked us, why not explore part-time help? Is it a trust issue or too much specialized knowledge required? Me personally, my sister will occasionally help. She does almost all of my eBay photos for my listings. She does some like breaking product down or mass box breaking, sorting out collections. But there's certain things that, not because I don't trust her, just because she doesn't have the knowledge, the experience in the hobby. I can't have her, like this month, $18 grading at PSA. I'm trying to chuck a ton of stuff out. I can't really like let her determine what I'm going to send because it's having the knowledge of what they're worth, what they grade. There's too many like layers of specialized knowledge required, as you said. Another thing too is like I'm actually structured as an S corporation. So any employee that I'd have, the way that I'm set up, I have a solo 401k. This is getting like really deep. Consult a tax professional. Let me find my not
there it is
thing. Yeah, like if I were to get an employee, it would just really complicate things as far as all that goes. And I think I'd have to change the structure of my retirement plans that I'm doing for myself, and it's just not going to happen. I'm never going to have like a formal employee. Family is like exempted, done differently, all that stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Do you want to? Do you have anything for that one?
Yeah, actually, it's a good question.
Oh, you can go ahead.
All right, so my number one thing that's holding me back right now is man hours. For those that don't know, I still work a full-time job. I also stream on Whatnot. The amount of hours that I'm currently putting in to streaming is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, between 10 to 14 hours a week, purely going live streaming. And on top of that, you take into account every stream takes about an hour. I have shipping down pretty good, but shipping can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we're already talking 20 or 30 man hours a week just in streaming and shipping the streams. That does not include dealing with graded cards. That does not include sourcing collections. That does not include all the other stuff that goes with our hobby, eBay, everything else. The number one thing holding me back is that I don't have an employee to help me. I do have my family sort bulk. I do have my family for Troll and Toad. They do have, I'm sitting on, I think, 40 monster boxes right now that still need to be. They're not the best with it. They're kids. So you would think that it wouldn't be that hard to get kids to sort Pokemon cards, but it's actually pretty hard to get kids to sort Pokemon cards. But so I do use family as well. I have recently been contacted by a much larger Whatnot streamer. This is why I find this interesting, to actually open a New Jersey branch, a full office setup. He currently has 6 employees working for him, and he wants me to duplicate that. He's a West Coast person, and he wants me to duplicate that on the East Coast, because the way Whatnot works is your ratings, your channel ratings go up the longer you stream during the day. You get higher in the search results. So he can't stream early in the morning East Coast time when I'm on. And we did click. He likes the way I stream, but we never really took it anywhere further than that. But it did get me thinking that if I wanted to take this further into a full-time job, that is something I would need to do, is to actually, I have an LLC right now, so I would probably need to restructure as well and actually bring on official employees. And it's just not something I am ready to tackle. And to go to the question, I am worried about specialized knowledge. That is a reason, like my fiance offers to do shipping for me, but she does nothing about Pokemon. I am totally worried about her not knowing, the process of, penny sleeve to top loader to team bag to, bubble mailer, the difference between all the cards. I'm worried about getting orders wrong. I'm worried about stuff going wrong. So it's definitely something I've considered. I just haven't made that leap yet either to getting an employee. But I think we all get to that point where, and that's a good place to be. I should say, Scott R., if that's where you're at, if you're doing something similar and you're at the point where man hours are holding you back, that's a good problem to have. That's a positive problem.
Yeah, I would agree with you guys. Biggest thing for me, I don't think I could ever pull like a Z&G and hire someone full time. Like James.
Why you don't like Cam?
No. Yeah, Cam just doesn't seem to work that hard. I was watching one of the videos they uploaded where it was like a day in the life, and the entire video, James is up walking around a little bit, grabbing some cards here and there. The entire video, Cam packages one single order. So, but no, I just don't think there's. I would love to have some help, but I'm still at the point where I couldn't give up very many things, like listing cards, packaging orders. I couldn't give those up yet, and have someone else help me with that, just because, like what you were saying, Joe, it takes a long time to train someone to do it the way that you like to do things, and I have very particular ways that I like to do everything.
No.
But as far as like part-time help, having someone sort cards, open packs, stuff like that, I would definitely like to have someone like that. I've actually, my sister's helped me out in the past, but then she got busy with her own job, so she's not able to do that anymore. And now I have a neighborhood kid helping me out every once in a while. It's not very often, but it definitely is a big help. The biggest thing for me about having someone a little bit more consistent would be I just don't have the space, and so they'd be working in either my bedroom or my living room. So I really need to know the person well. Can't just post something on Facebook asking for help.
Yeah, yeah, that to Scott's point too. I do have trust issues too. Like the one guy asked me, would you want to do this out of your house or out of an office? And I said, oh, office for sure. I don't want people in my house. No way.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. The trust thing is definitely like I go through boxes and totes and just random, like I joke, mystery boxes that I packed a long time ago. Someone could probably take a lot of stuff without me realizing, which isn't a great situation to be in.
Yeah,
and I built out my office to be a one-man operation. So like everything that I have set up, and it would be cramped to do with a co-pilot, I guess.
yeah, the video or the live where you were cracking slabs and putting submissions up, you're just like, oh, here's just every EX reverse set. I forgot I had these. I just had these over here. I'm like, what? Those are so cool. Like you just had those. Like you're just sitting there. Like
Yeah. There's a lot of backlog, which is good. We got the next question direct for Echo.
Oh.
If you want to go ahead and take that one.
Is pre-release Raichu a real card? I'd like to hear the lore of the card from someone who was heavily involved in league play the early days of the hobby. Thanks. Yes, Nerd Neck. The pre-release Raichu is a real card. So pre-release Raichu was tacked on to the end of a pre-release Clefable sheet that ran through the printer. The error was caught. The cards were cut up and given to the heads of the people running Wizards of the Coast organized play for Pokemon at the time. Mike Bowser is the one person that I have personally met who had one at Worlds 2004 and Worlds 2000, was it 2004? 2004? Yeah, 2004 and Fan Appreciation Tournament in 2003, I believe. He always had his personal binder with some really cool stuff in it besides the pre-release Raichu, by the way, guys. Like, there's other cards out there that are similar to that, that are just stuff that's ran off the printing presses that nobody's ever seen. So, like, the only other person I've ever heard that, the only other person I've ever heard who might even have similar knowledge that you might know, Nerdneck, would be Rusty, based off of the people that he's talked to. So it was one of those nights where everything was done for the day and we were all hanging out in the hotel lobby, and he pulled out his binder, and that's when you could catch a glimpse of the card, and he let everyone, pull it out and hold it and everything. But this was back before cell phones, guys. So, I mean, you're talking like Nokia flip phones. So no one just had iPhones to whip out pictures of either. But yes, the card is real. It's a green stamp, if I remember correctly. I'm going off memory on that one. It's a green pre-release stamp on the card. And yeah, it is real. I think, as I remember, there were 11 copies. 11 copies. One, some people, I think Mike had 2. But pretty much every Wizards that ran organized play for Pokemon got 1 copy. And that was it. That was all of them. But yes, I never, since I saw it, I wanted that card. I wanted that card so bad. That is one of my top 3 grails. But I've never seen one out in the wild. I've never seen anyone acquire one. I'm sure some of those Wizards guys sold them, but I've never seen one after those. I've seen it twice in person, never seen or heard of it since. So.
Yeah, I can definitely believe that it's real. I just think I I don't know how much. It's so tough to tell if there'd be how much value there'd be behind that card now, just because of how easy it is to fake that stamp.
Yeah, that would be one of those things that almost would have had to have gotten sold, bought, and graded a while ago to be official. So that like it would have had to have happened way a long time ago to come more into the limelight. Because you're right, it is very easy to fake now, so you would not be able to tell if it was one of the original ones or not.
Yeah,
So yeah, that would be really hard to do to tell. But if you're interested, Nerd Nick, you can go on PokeGym and look up the old articles on this too. PokePop, one of my really good friends, one of the mods and the owners of PokeGym. There's several old articles. You could probably just Google PokeGym and PreRelease Raichu, and you'll pull up the old forum articles on it too. There's a lot of info there you can read. You can read through if you want to.
I realized I was muted when I shared my screen. Rusty has a video from 9 years ago of an uncut sheet talking about like the pre-release Raichu and the fact that Raichu and Clefable were side by side on a sheet for the theme deck hollows. And
okay.
Yeah, talked about the mythical error. I think there's a lot of controversy around this card. There's definitely copies that exist. There's copies that people, as you mentioned, have in a binder somewhere from years ago. The biggest thing that it comes down to is I think PSA would be unlikely to authenticate it. Now that CGC is coming more to the forefront, especially on things like that, it would be super interesting because what CGC can do is they can look and say, hey, the stamp matches what it should per like a pre-release Clefable. And the card stock and the core and everything it's supposed to have, they can say it's genuine materials made on genuine equipment. The thing that can't be said is, though, were they supposed to be destroyed? Was it made intentionally by some people who now have a financial incentive to get them authenticated and sold? Like, that's where you run into like the issues. And no matter, like, a lot of people will probably have strong reactions to hearing this in this podcast because some people will be firm in, no, it's still fake. I don't care what this guy says. And then other people will be like, I always knew it was real. Like the drama will never end. And one of these days, I think that CGC article will drop and they will have authenticated one. And that won't even like quell any of the issues because some people will still be firm in, oh no, it wasn't supposed to happen, blah, 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 whatever. But that's how legends happen, right? Like legends or myths or whatever. Like the legend of the pre-release Raichu will never die.
Oh, it'll live on forever.
One of the other cards he had a bunch of the prototype Pokemon cards on the Magic backs in that binder as well. He had a lot of really rare things in that binder. Basically, the stuff that you would have if you were a Wizards employee who got a bunch of errors or that stuff that wasn't supposed to be printed, you know, that got cut up and not thrown away because you worked in R&D or whatever. Yep, a lot of stuff.
The one thing I wonder, though, is would CGC ever be able to authenticate the pre-release Raichu? Just because, have you... Gary posted it on E4, the E4 stamped Pikachu that he made.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
Yep.
He brought some of those to one of the Collecticon events, and I was able to see one. And those stamps look really, really good. So I don't know, would CGC, is there some technology that CGC could use to say that's an aftermarket stamp versus this is the original stamp?
They could possibly, with their imaging technology, I think that they could scan in high def enough the stamp and age it against the card. Like, but that would be my only way. You'd have to almost implement AI of some kind. Whether or not they are that advanced or not, I don't know. Is it theoretically possible? I could see a world where it could be. You know, I don't know if they're there yet or not.
But that would be really cool if we ever did get an authenticated copy.
Do you remember?
That's a lot of risk for whatever company decides to put their name behind that, though.
Do you remember years ago on E4 when Scott actually had one of the
I
more
think he
legit.
saw David's copy, didn't he?
I think he had or was handling David's copy. He posted pictures of
I
a
do remember
pre-release
that.
Raichu.
Yes.
I
Yep.
think that I'm trying to find the thread on my other screen right now to share it. I think that's long been deleted. Did David show one in one of his videos? I feel like he
did
did.
a video about it. Yes. And yeah,
Because there are a few copies out, like there's tons of fakes because the stamps to some extent can be made aftermarket, but there
Mhm.
are a few copies with like the appropriate
Font.
chain of custody basically back to an original, like Mike Boozer,
Boozer.
whatever it is. I'm gonna see if I can find where he shows it.
it wasn't like a dedicated video. The one that I saw anyway. He might have done another one, but I remember he did like a.
Wasn't
I
it his
remember he was
kid
like
did a
showing stuff,
presentation?
and he like sneaked it by.
I think I have the video up right now. His kid did a presentation, I'm pretty sure. Let me see.
He's one that needs to upload some more YouTube videos. I liked his videos.
Yeah, I think it's just like a it was like a pandemic thing that he was doing, probably busy with real life again now that a lot of that's mostly past.
Pokemon is real life.
So yeah, shout out I'm going to share this right now. Shout out David Person Pokemon on YouTube. Crazy collection, has like every English trophy. But his son did a presentation on it. And you can see a picture right there of like his copy that he has. I don't think, maybe throughout this 12-minute video he shows it on screen at some point, but this image on his son's presentation is just
That's it. It's in green too, just like I remember. Yep.
I know I watched this video. It's like a year old that he posted, over a year, November 2020. But yeah, go check that out if you want a little more history, like on the lore of the pre-release Raichu. And then there's also this video from Rusty, November 2013, where he shows the sheet and he talks about what he had heard about it. The legend of the pre-release Raichu will never die.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, there are copies out there. PSA in the past has declined to authenticate it, but PSA is declining to authenticate Art Academy cards right now that we know are real. And PSA authenticating it or not doesn't necessarily mean it's real or not. And CGC, there's a fine line between some of this stuff. Like all those Gold Star dogs that got stolen from the factory basically weren't legitimately distributed. They're as real as the real ones that were pulled from boxes because there's no way to tell the difference. They were made the same way on the same equipment. And both companies authenticate those. So it all comes down to what does real mean. And that's where some people won't fully ever agree. So to some people, it's 100% real. And to other people, it'll never be proven real, even if CGC authenticates one. That's just where it stands, I think.
Speaking of the Gold Star dogs, have you done an eBay search for one of them? Like CGC Gold Star? And
Why?
There's like 1,000 listings from one guy.
Because somebody just bought them all, I think.
Yeah, someone bought them, graded them with CGC, and then listed every single copy that he has.
Yep.
It's insane.
I saw it on Instagram. Somebody bought I think he must have got it from the guy. He bought a binder of it. Didn't somebody post it in the Discord too, I think?
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
But why would you list every single copy that you had graded? That is the stupidest thing.
Are they still up? Maybe they're not up anymore.
I don't know. I saw it. It was like a week ago or so. I saw it.
David Adams.
Maybe someone bought them all.
David Adams has a few up, but there were a lot up before, and I'm not seeing them.
I think they're. Well, let's search sold.
I just searched Gold Star, like Entei I picked. And
that's what I did.
I'm only seeing a handful.
Because it's the easiest one to spell.
Yeah, the shortest one.
Yeah, I'm only seeing a couple sold too. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they didn't have CGC in the title.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy though. Maybe he must have gotten smart. Because
Yeah.
he had to have had like 1,500, 2,000 listings.
Oh my god.
And I scrolled through multiple pages, and it was just all
What was he
gold star
selling them
dogs.
for? Was he
They were
auction?
expensive. They were 900, 1,000, 1,200,
Oh.
depending on the grade.
Yeah, that's somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, I could see maybe putting them all up, buy it now, $199, and just letting everyone consume them. If I don't know if you need a new car or something ASAP.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Nick, if you want to go ahead with the next one.
Yeah, let's go for it. We've got Robert S. With cracking and regrading becoming popular, how will the population reports remain accurate? In theory, the cards simultaneously exist with multiple grades and cert numbers. That is absurd.
Wait, where are mine?
That is ridiculous. How many cards have you cracked there? Is that all recent, or is that just all of them?
I did.
Did you do some preparation?
So I've been in this hobby for 8 years, and my first 7.5 years, I cracked maybe 100, and over half of those were PSA 8.5s from that whole time period where they just gave everything an 8.5.
Yep.
And then in the past week, I cracked between 250 and 300. I'm rolling around on like shards of plastic, and I will be forever.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
I know some of those were mine. I know. Did you get some of those were PWCC, right? I know some of those
Probably.
8.5s were. Yeah.
Probably 100 of them were ones that I graded. I graded early on with subgrades, and I got like a million CGC 8.5. So I'm like, I'm just gonna re-roll that because I know they're PSA 9s at least, if not PSA 10s. Some of them will be PSA 10s.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, what do you think about the whole pop report thing, Nick?
Yeah, to answer the question, it's just not going to remain accurate. Your best bet is to just not. I don't want to say not believe the pop report, but not put so much emphasis into the pop report. Everyone always says pop report is just the popularity report, where all the popular cards get graded and non-popular cards with low pops are just not graded because they're not popular. But if you do want to kind of look at the numbers and look at the pop report, you want to be looking at the PSA 10s. That's going to be the most accurate number because there's not many 10s that are going to be getting cracked out for resubmission. But 9s, 8s, all of that stuff, everything in between, there's definitely people cracking those cards all the time and not returning the labels. So I think that's the answer right there.
Yeah, I'm not going to return any of mine. I collect labels. So I have somewhere I have they're spread amongst different boxes, but every card I've ever cracked at some point I'll get them all together and I'll count them up, but I'm not going to send mine in. Pop reports are, as you said, I've cracked now 350 to 400 cards, 0 PSA 10s I've cracked. I'll never crack one. At best, maybe I'd send one in case to CGC or BGS to try to get the perfect, but the black label or the perfect, but probably not. So yeah, like 8.5s, 9s, 9.5s. Who cares if the pop reports are off by a few? Or of the 40 million cards that PSA has graded, it's not a million cards. I don't think that have been cracked. It's like less than 1%. Way under 1% probably, and it just doesn't really matter in my opinion. I can show them all on video if someone wants to send the video to PSA and CGC so that they can go through. I'm not going to send them in because I just don't care. They need to get me my cards back. They don't need to worry about fixing the pop report because that just doesn't matter. Is my take on
it. Just a couple of things I'd add is supposedly when the AI was announced for PSA that it was supposed to detect duplicates. It doesn't.
It's not a thing.
So, have you tested that for high-end cards?
Anecdotally, I've heard of people, and this is like reading it on a forum or hearing it in a random YouTube video. I don't even remember the source, but like I've heard of sports numbered cards being cracked, like being sent at 50. Like
Sure.
I'm saying since Geniment was acquired, because obviously
Right.
if you graded a card 5 years ago and then cracked it today and sent it in,
Right.
Geniment wasn't owned then. But I've heard of ones like this year being graded
Yeah.
twice, a numbered card, and getting 2 different grades. So it's like,
Well, then never mind then. Yeah.
little, like,
Yeah.
and maybe like context disclaimer, that was third hand information, could have been
Yeah.
completely made up, but like I don't buy it whatsoever.
Yeah. Never mind then.
I don't have my own anecdotes on that. There's no card that I've like all these cards that I'm cracking, all these cards that I did crack, I've never cracked a card twice. I can't say that I won't ever. Maybe I will on some of these, but like today I've never cracked a card twice. But maybe for science, I mean, I'll have to do a handful to see if Gentleman's really a thing, because it's not. But I don't know that.
I would find it very hard to believe if it was a thing. PSA can't even keep track of like what they're calling cards. Sometimes
True.
they're listed like 10 different ways. So how are they going to know?
I will say
card in if they've graded it or not.
that on one of my $50 tier level submissions I got back recently, my 2 pop series, my Umbreon and my Espeon, on the invoice sheet you get, those were the one where you have to approve the charges. Those 2 had the little column imaged next to it where there's like it tells you for each card, and those were the only 2 that were I think there may be a dollar threshold that your card has to meet in order for them to actually image it. That's why I was curious when you said what you said, if you had heard of people with high valued cards, because that alone made me stop in my tracks of trying to resubmit my one card twice. I was like, oh, well, they have an image of it now, so they're going to catch it. But I guess if you're resubmitting serialized cards, it's obviously not working.
Yeah, and that might not even be true. But like, on a non-hollow card, is there really gonna? I mean, the technology I'm sure exists to create a database of these 900,000 cards that they're grading every month. And when the card is rescanned through the same database, it would like pop up, red alert, this was graded before on this date by this grader, and it was a 9. So automatically give it a 9, charge the person the money, put it back into a case, and send it. But even that, though, isn't what would happen, because it would have to be regraded again. Because what if you damaged it when you cracked it out? Like, and minor things change, pieces of dust on the lenses. I don't think it's happening.
I'm just imagining this mission control center manned by elves, and all of a sudden these red alarms go off. We have a duplicate. They all run over.
Like, honestly, I don't think PSA cares that much about people resubmitting cards. Pay them twice to grade, like pay them 10 times to grade the same card. They don't really care.
It's more money for them, more money in their pocket.
Especially when you send it in case, and then they can just like, they get the same amount of money whether they crack it out and put it in a new slab, or if they just send it back and say doesn't meet the minimum grade. I'm sure they love that.
Oh yeah.
What a wonderful world.
I think we covered that one.
I would say so.
John asks, I feel like the world's promos lack exposure and notoriety, as nobody seems to really know much about them. I feel like they have all the fundamentals besides exclusive art to take off. Thoughts? I'm assuming this means like the stamped tidal waves, beaches, festivals. This might have been asked before Rusty's video. Rusty sold a finalist 2005 tropical tidal wave, I believe it was, for $50,000. That's going to give some exposure. I know my partner in the Patreon, Jake, he did videos like a year or 2 ago going over all the different stamps, and he's chasing that collection himself. Scott has talked a lot about them. Scott has a lot of them listed really high on his eBay. So I feel like they've gotten decent time in the spotlight. Could they get more? Could Leonhardt do a video? Could Unlisted Leaf, Real Breaking Nate? Could one of the bigger people do one and put even more onto it? Maybe. Could Logan Paul buy a set of them and like they could get more exposure, but I feel like they've gotten a decent amount. Me personally, where I stand, and I'm somebody who publicly owns. I used to own a set of 1 to 4. I sold the 2 in the 2 in the 4 to Rusty. But I like the full art Pikachus, and then I just collect like the base competitor one. I'm not big about like stamp variations, especially when they cost that much. So give me one of each unique art, and then to me that's a complete set. That's where I stand on it. The market clearly differs. I still own a fair few stamped ones, and I'm trying to maximize what I get from them. I'm not going to just give them away because I know what they are and I know how rare they are too. Like I have a champion stamp from 2014.
Nice.
It's as far as I understand, it's as rare as the full art Pikachu that I have. But to me, it's just like many levels below. What do you think, Joe? You should have some, right? Because you actually awarded some.
Yeah, I do. I have my top 16 cards. And back in the day, I just thought they were the coolest freaking thing ever. There were 2 things I wanted more than anything for winning worlds. I wanted a finalist card, and I wanted my deck to get immortalized in one of those world championship decks with my signature on it. I just thought that would have been
That'd
the
be
coolest
real
thing ever.
cool.
That would be awesome.
So cool. Like your own
Yeah.
creation. Because the other thing was that every year I played, I did not play a meta. Like I did not play a net deck. I always came with my own thing, with its own like story and everything. So I just thought that like I took it as like a challenge. Like I'm literally going up against the entire field, and everyone's playing like one of like 3 or 4 decks, and I'm coming with something rogue. And the notoriety that you would have got, that was one way to get notoriety back in the day, was to set yourself apart as a really good player by coming with a rogue deck that no one else thought of and winning. Like if you could do that, everyone would like idolize you. Like it was like, holy shit, this kid knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And just the thought of doing that and then having like my own deck in the stores, just I just wanted to do that so bad. But other than that, yeah, the finalist cards, I always thought they were sick. I also a long time ago was one of the few people, but I was a rare case, and I think a lot of this does go to the fact that proliferation of information was not as easily disseminated back then as it is now. Like these cards came out at a time, most of the early ones, when not a lot of people went to Worlds. And the vast majority of Pokemon's consumer base that just goes to Walmart and Target to buy cards, they don't know about this stuff. They don't know these exist. Pokemon was not really good at marketing their own stuff. There was no like, they couldn't just throw up on Instagram like, oh, like world championship promo, like this is what you get for winning worlds, and there wasn't a thing back then. Like all they had was their old website to run marketing off of. I mean, Facebook was in its infancy back then. So I think it's, I can't really tell you why more lore exists around older Japanese trophy cards than English trophy cards. Like they're equally as rare, some of them, but yet more people want the older Japanese trophy cards and know about them than they do the English finalists and trophy cards too. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's very specific to each person what they like the most. We're talking about the top 0.5% of cards in our hobby too. Like a lot of people just, I guess maybe some people just don't care about stuff that they never think that they're going to be able to obtain anyway. It's just not obtainable for them. I don't know. I don't know why they haven't taken off as much, honestly, as something like a TMB or, like a 97 Pika or something. I don't know. I don't know why. They are extremely rare.
Yeah. I kind of do think they do lack exposure. Like you were saying, Joe, I actually never knew about the World promos until I went to DC. And that was just because I was never much into promos. I was always into WotC set cards, and I just never came across those cards.
But you knew about the old Japanese promos.
I did know about those, yes.
How?
That just on E4 mainly. E4 and SM Pratt's Patreon.
Okay. Also, back in the day when Top Deck magazine was out, Top Deck and Pojo magazine and Pokemon Guide, they would always post articles on the old Japanese trophy cards too, in all those old Pokemon magazines.
Yep.
So there was always pictures of those circulating, but they never did any of them. Not that I remember anyway. A lot of those magazines were defunct by the time 2004, 2005 rolled around.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't ever remember seeing an article on any of the English stuff. There wasn't a lot. That was a really dead period in Pokemon when I don't think exposure was a thing. They just didn't write articles on it. That's cool.
Well, one thing Japanese has is it has the silver Bible that shows like a lot of the trophy cards. I don't know where my open copy is. This is my sealed copy, so I can't flip through it.
Oh, just open it up. Give the viewers what they want.
It would be cool though if we had like an English card equivalent of this.
That would be cool. Something that you could actually read.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I have with this question is I do agree with you, John, that they are the person answering the question. They are lacking exposure for sure, but in terms of like having the fundamentals, I don't know if that is true. I was absolutely blown away, as I'm sure a lot of people were, that someone paid $50,000 for that 2005 finalist. Good for him for completing his goal, but to me that I don't understand why you want to collect all the stamps versus just having like the ones that come in the packs, or like the staff stamp, or one of the cheaper options. For me, like a staff and a finalist would be the same thing. I wouldn't care.
Really? But they're different.
The only difference is the little stamp that says staff or finalist, though.
Yeah, but there's you can do a whole staff binder. I have a whole staff binder. Like, that's its own thing. Staff is like, that's a whole category. Just like finalist is, it's like it's a winner card. Like, it's a trophy card. I could understand.
I never considered those. They are definitely, but I just never considered them as like trophy cards. When I think trophy cards, I think of the full art Pikas, the stuff. But
they were
like that. Not those ones.
But they're awarded the same way. You have to win a tournament to get one.
Yeah, no, definitely. They are, but I just don't see them that way. Just because of the different ways that you can get them without that stamp.
And
okay.
Like, would you rather have that finalist 05, or would you rather have a number 3 TMB?
Oh, 100%.
TMB, but that's only because Tropical Mega Battle was a tournament that I always wanted to go to back in the day and did not get to go to. I have more of an attachment to that tournament than I do 05.
Yeah, like it blows my mind that they sold, like Rusty bought the number 3 TMB for $50,000, and then a few weeks later he sold the 05 finalist for $50,000, which is
wow.
He made a good trade there, in my opinion, and I think I don't think that card would sell again. Like, say someone just auctioned one again. Well, that card sold in a lot for $25,000 a few weeks before. So, like, not only would it not sell again for $50,000, I don't think, it didn't sell just a few weeks prior. Clearly, that guy who bought it missed that auction.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So here's something interesting that I just thought of that could be considered. I never heard anyone else say it yet either. Every one of the original Japanese trophy cards, every year, is a completely different artwork. Now, true that the English cards are also different artwork, and they did move to the full arts, but the theme is still the same. Every year they do a champion card now. Every year there's going to be another one. There's going to be another set. So there's not as much, in my opinion, there's not as much. Tropical Mega Battle, the TMB, or the 97 Pika, it's one and done. It's gone. It's a piece of history. They're not going to do that again. Next year, there's going to be another finalist card or another champion card in just a slightly different artwork. Like,
Yeah.
They keep making them. Every year, they keep making them. So what's the difference between an 06 and an 05? They're the same card, just 1 year
Different
apart.
art, at least, though. Like that would be one knock against the Pikachus, actually, because in 2014, I have the champion stamp, but 2014 through 2019, the number one Pikachu full arts were all the same art, whereas 2014, 2015, 2016, each festival champion
Right.
was a different art. So in a way, the champion stamp is rarer than that art, but then in another way, it's not even remotely close because the champion, the finalist, the semi, all the way down to the competitor pack has the same art. It's only the stamp that's different. So depending on which way you want to go with it, and everyone can make their own decisions. Like it's great when people value things differently because then it allows Rusty to sell that card for 50K and buy a number 3 TMB for 50K. In his mind, he made a massive upgrade, but in the other guy's mind, whatever he sold to get the 50K or whether he just had $5 million laying around it and spent a fraction of it on this one card, he made an exchange that he felt the winner of, right? So, I mean, it's great that we can make trades and make exchanges with each other to increase our own perceived value, I guess.
Yeah, no, it is weird because like my big argument with those cards is the stamp. I don't value the finalist or whatever more than the staff. But then if you flip that and look at set cards, I definitely value first edition over unlimited. So it's really the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
You get the unlimited for a lot cheaper, but I'd rather have that first edition. So I think it just comes down to who's actually collecting it.
Personal preference, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
Calling out your own hypocrisy, Nick. I like it.
I just love that. My mind is now blown.
Although
I'm fairly similar though. A lot of the only reason I have any of the stamp festivals is because, well, I did buy some separate, but like a lot of the ones I have, I bought the full art Pikachu and they just like came with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've bought a couple lots of like mixed lots of top 16s, top 32s.
Nice.
Just because I got a good deal on them and I knew what the market valued them at. But yeah, like my whole WotC, I never built a PSA 9 Unlimited Gym Heroes collection or Gym Challenge collection or Neo Destiny. Those were all done first edition only. So I'm similar. I don't care about the stamp variants when it comes to the festivals, beaches, but I do when it comes to WotC. Kind of stupid, but
yeah.
When did those? Do you know when those competitor packets? When they started making those with all the different languages?
2004.
Oh, they've had those since the beginning?
Yeah, I still have one behind me. Yeah. Yeah, that was the first year. I don't know if they did them because I don't know if they did them when I wasn't. They did them through 08. I don't know what they did after 08 too.
Okay.
I wasn't following the hobby. But they did them up till 08. That I know for sure.
I have a bunch, but I think all mine are. All like 2013, 2012 to current. I don't think I have anything pre that.
Yeah, because I saw someone on Facebook selling. He had I think it was a 14 through 19 set.
Cool.
And I was looking at it and thinking, oh, this would be cool. Maybe I can start collecting these.
Did he have 2 of 1 year?
Yes.
I bought those.
Did you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was thinking about buying them, but then
I wonder how many times out there
I did not want to go down that rabbit hole.
I'm bidding against you guys or somebody else.
It's a small world, this Poke space.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This next question, Rusty actually asked, kind of geared towards a comment I made, so I'll steal this one out of order. TCA Gaming, when you talk about slacking costing you money in reference to not adjusting price as they come down, How much money do you think you made from slacking during the boom? A lot. So yeah, this is in reference to like 2 weeks ago, last podcast. I talked about how I recently went through and I did a full inventory. Certain items I had to revise my price down like 80%, my buy it now price, to be the lowest on eBay. Because every time I list, I go lowest on eBay by 5 cents or by $5, whatever it is. And when the prices are moving down in the market, you can get really behind. And I hadn't updated my prices in over a year on some stuff. Obviously, when 2020 happens, if you're not adjusting up, you can actually like, I probably lost some amount of money during the boom, because if I had pulled down or adjusted the price of a couple of my PSA 9 unlimited Charizards, I sold like one at 2K, 3K, 4K, and then I sold a couple at 5K, whatever it was. Had I been on top of that every day, and like as I saw a sale at 4,500, okay, let me bump up. So in some respects, I lost a little. The biggest thing I made money on though in 2020 was like my backlog. I'm still making a lot of money, even though the prices have come down a lot. All the things that I had not yet listed, because I was like so far behind throughout the start of the boom. All my listings got bought, but I only had a few hundred up. So then I put up a few hundred more and they got bought later in the boom. And I put up a few hundred more and they got bought. Like the fact that I had 2 kids, one a newborn and a full-time job, it like made me slower to get things listed. And it kind of like, if I could have timed everything perfectly, I could have made a ton more if I was doing this full time. But like if I had been full time at that time, I probably would have made a decent bit less on certain things. It's like a balance, because I would have listed more things sooner, earlier in the boom, but then I also would have like listed more things peak boom before the crash, and I wouldn't have carried so much stuff through the crash. It's like it goes both ways a little bit, but overall, I did really well in 20. Like I did really well overall, more of a win than a loss for sure. I don't know if you guys have any commentary. Like you mentioned, you got back in, Joe, during the boom area.
Yeah. So I didn't have anything up on eBay during that time. My initial, so I got back in by purchasing a very large collection. One of my friends who've been playing as long as I had got out of the hobby, and I pretty much doubled my collection size. So my goal at the time was to grade his cards and obviously start to sell them. I had to do it. I had to be a little strategic with it because I didn't have the capital for just to full send to PSA and get hit with $100,000 grading bill so I had to slowly pick items in order to build up money in order to be able to grade more cards. So it was a little bit tricky. But initially, so my initial plan was not to list my stuff on my own eBay, but to utilize PWCC back when they were on eBay. So most of my initial sales were just sending, 300, 400, 500 cards a month to PWCC during the boom, because every month was getting record prices for everything. So I didn't feel any need not to. I just let them do all the work for me. I'll never forget the day that I was sitting in my kitchen. We were getting ready to go to the beach, and the announcement came that they were no longer on eBay, and my heart just went, oh man, what the hell? I gotta list all these now. I was just like, shit. I was like, no, I gotta list all these, like the man hours. I was just like, my fiance's like, why are you like? I was shooken for the whole day at the beach. Like it really, like I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I don't have the time for this, and like, so I had to like about face change my strategy that day. So this doesn't really pertain to me though. I wasn't slacking during the boom. I was just starting during the boom. So.
And I know Nick's told.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about 2020.
Nick was somewhere burning how many tons of fuel a day on a ship,
on the cargo ship. That's right. That's right.
Sorry, Earth.
Yeah, no, it's funny. 2020, I was home for the beginning of the year, January through June. I got on the ship mid-June, and I didn't get off the ship until late November.
Oof.
And so I missed the entire thing. When I'm on the ship, we don't have access to eBay, so I'm keeping up with everything just through Facebook. And when I got home, it was cool, but it was also so incredibly stressful because I felt like I didn't know anything anymore. I had to relearn every single price of every single card, and it was a stressful time for sure. But I wish I had I like Dan said, if I could have timed it where I got off the ship mid-June and then was home throughout December, I would have sold everything. Which I know it's easy to say that in hindsight, but
You would have held it because you would have waited for that last double. I mean, some amount of stuff probably. It's if we all had perfect hindsight, or if we all had perfect timing, we could all be billionaires on Dogecoin and SHIB, or playing the Mega Millions the right day.
Yeah.
You can't get hung up on stuff like that because it's just silly. Good question though.
Is this one mine?
Yeah.
I can write this down real quick. Okay, so Andrew M. Will CGC lower their bulk prices in response to the PSA July special and gradual price drops in general from their competitors? That is a good question. I really wish CGC would lower their bulk pricing, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And the reason why I say that is because after July, once PSA is done with their July special, I don't think we're going to see any tiers under $30 from PSA until at least the beginning of 2023. I think PSA right now is going to get absolutely flooded at the $18 card, and then they're just not going to have the capacity to handle any more specials or lower tiers or anything like that. So PSA is going to be at $30 a card. So CGC will still be a good value at half the price of PSA at $15 a card. But as PSA does reopen lower tiers and like keeps them open, so when they reopen the $20 tier, the $15 tier, I do think CGC is going to have to lower their pricing in order to stay. I think CGC has to be, I'll say, around the same price or cheaper than PSA. CGC can't ever be more expensive than PSA, or people are just going to send to PSA, even though it is a longer turnaround time. That's what I think, anyway. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
What do you think, Joe?
I've been waiting to talk about something like this.
Oh boy, we
go.
Unleash the beast here.
So, I respectfully disagree. I think that PSA will open a lower tier before December, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this. And the one thing, Dan, I know you're plotting the graphs and the charts, and I don't know if you've how much you've updated it recently, but
I'm updating it for Sunday.
oh, okay, great, awesome. And it's very good info, and I respect you're the only one doing it, and it's very good service to the community. But I would like to think that inside PSA's boardroom, that their experts have a little bit more advanced charts, and that they know what they're doing. I think since they've gone private, I would think that being a for-profit company now, like I think that I really like the changes that they've made so far with the new ownership and the new leadership, I should say, down to the conversations I had with the director of customer relations and the director of there was 2 directors on the line. I can't remember who the other dude was. I just get when I think of them having their meetings and planning out their business strategy, I get a very suit and tie feeling to it, where somebody's making very, very smart decisions about what they're doing, and they're not just randomly doing stuff for the sake of doing it. With them opening $18 out of nowhere says a couple things to me. Grading 800,000 cards a month and expanding. They're still expanding. What are we going to accept as a acceptable turnaround time going forward for bulk? 2 months, 60 days, 90 days? Like, what's the acceptable? I send my bulk in and I get it back in X amount of days. I don't think it'll ever be 30 days again. I don't think
no way.
I don't think that's their goal. I think their goal is, it would not surprise me if 6 months was their goal.
I think 3 to 6 months is fine.
If that's the case, then I think that they're thinking that we are going to complete this backlog. We have to get our next backlog ready to go. We have to be ready to have these people not sit around on their ass and do nothing. We need a backlog. There will always be a backlog. It's just how much time is that? Like, what's the duration of the backlog?
Yeah, because if they're grading 1 million cards a month, which looking at gem rate right now, the last 30 days, it was 985,000 cards. So really close. If they are having their highest service levels, if it's same day, next day, all the way down to their lowest service level, 6 months, you would need approximately 6 million cards in your backlog, right?
Right.
I don't know if you were done or if you want to wrap up where you were going with it.
No. Yeah, go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, I agree with Nick on parts of it, but then I'm closer to you on others, which I don't know if that's a surprising answer or not. But I have an open bet with James, ZNG Emporium, which I still believe I'm going to win. I do not think we will get open to the public grading at sub $10 before 2024. And I say that, but I think we will get another sub 30 grading service before the end of this year. 30 and 10, they are quite massively apart. 18 and 10, it doesn't feel like they're massively apart, but they are massively apart. I am sending 1,000 cards this month, approximately 700 to 1,000, wherever I end up. If it was 10 for July, if it was $9.99, $10, whatever, I don't know what I would have done. I would have chucked out to Charlie's new middleman. I would have chucked out to Peter's middleman. I would have tried to get James to open graded gem for a month. I would have sent out 10,000 cards, probably 10 times as many. So demand goes up exponentially as price comes down. But yeah, what I see happening, I think we're only a few days away, the end of this week. I think we're going to close out July. 18 is going to go away. They're going to give it a few weeks minimum to just, they'll already know what's been entered on the site. So when it physically lands doesn't make a difference because they'll already see the number that came in on the site through submission forms. They'll let it sit for a few weeks, hopefully a month, and they'll continue to churn through the backlog, and they'll get the 30s and the 50s out that are coming in, and then everything above. And I think by the fall, I could see, whether it's lottery or whatever it may be, I think 20 to 25 will come back before the end of the year. I hope it's lottery. The later the better, because I still want my November 2020 back. I still want my December 2020 back. How
do you not have those back?
I'm surprised by that.
One thing I've been following, James, he talks about it periodically.
Yeah.
He still has, 70 orders, which is 500 cards each. It's 35,000 cards or more. I think James still has to process through.
Mm-hmm.
And Ludkins is no different. James is graded gem. Ludkins, they have a bunch. So I've been listening to the PSA podcast, not every week, because usually they don't talk about much interesting or useful to me, but occasionally they do talk about the backlog. They're talking numbers like 2 million. And what they must be doing, and I wish they would just elaborate and provide clarity. I think every time they mention backlog, they're talking about pre-April 1st, 2021 cards that were submitted, because they mentioned in their most recent one that the backlog was down to 2.5 million cards. I don't think that's counting all the, especially the $18 that's coming in right now, the $30, the $50 from this year.
I don't think so. You're
Obviously,
right.
there's no backlog for 300 plus, because those things are out same week, if not same day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think they're separating it into two things. One thing I don't know if they'll tell us. They probably won't, because it would sound bad. I think they took in more than 1 million cards this month, or I think they will take in. Like, I think this month alone, and I'm glad they're only doing it for a month and not just permanently leaving it open, but I think in July they will take in over 1 million cards.
I would not be surprised. But really, when you think about that, that puts them behind 2 months if they're doing 1 million cards.
Yeah, like say they take in 3 million, that's only a couple months worth, and they can still hit their promises on the 150 probably. But like, I'm a little worried they won't, because if they just say, hey, July wasn't as bad as we thought, like, we're just going to permanently open it, and hey, we'll give you 15 too. Like, the amount of cards that are still not done, like, if their backlog pre-March 2021, if their backlog is only 2 million cards, go 2 more months, go till September, not fully till September, but go till like mid-August, early September. Get it down to where like you're 100%. And they have said they're going to get the pre-2021 backlog done before the end of the year. I believe that. But like, I hope it's more like August than December. Because if they wanted to tomorrow, they could open $10 if they want to just make people wait a year again. And
I don't think they want to do that though. I hope them.
Not.
And I think they are playing it smart. They're doing a good job.
That's why I think 10 won't open before 2024. Because
I don't
if
either.
It did. I think that the equilibrium inputs, the submissions to PSA, that's where it all comes down to at the end of the day. If the equilibrium inputs are 1 million or higher, the backlog will grow. And I think at 10, that is going to be the reality.
It's really going to depend.
Is it going to grow? Will it stay consistent enough throughout the entire next year?
You're going to have to wait and see.
$15 a card? I don't think that's
You're going to have to wait and see. We have to see how many cards were taken in this month at 18.
But the thing with this month, though, that's different than next year, is this month people have been waiting a year and a half, 2 years to submit all these cards.
But you have to break it down between sports and Pokemon too, because there's always sports people sending in cards. So, and at lower tiers, the lower the tiers open, there are sports card set completists out there that want an entire graded card, Dodgers, 2021 card set out there, but they're not willing to pay for it. So they have to cater to those people too. There's always going to be those people that want $10 cards just to have $10 cards in a slab. I think those numbers absolutely track, Dan. That is exactly where I was thinking too, more or less. If your backlog, what do they say? What do they estimate the old backlog to be right now?
2 million-ish.
That's 2 months to clear that out. I am getting back orders from mid to late March of 2021. Like I had 18, 17. I've gotten back like 12 PSA orders in the last 4 weeks. I have 3 or 4 left, and that's it. My backlog is done, and I submit it right up to the end. They are going to clear this backlog fast. And then what are they going to do? They're going to have nothing to grade.
They have at least. I would not be surprised if they took in 2 million cards during this, which gives them 2 months worth of operations. Yeah.
Then what do you do?
If they open 15 tomorrow, they get another 2 million in over the next 3 weeks. Like,
that's why I think that they're going to wait 2 to 3 months and then they're going to open it.
That's when I think it's going to happen too. And it might just be 18 again, or it might, like, when it blew my mind when they went from 30 to 18. I think they could have done. They would have teased some out of me. The same cards, like at 25, I would have sent 500 of the 1,000 I'm sending at 18. So. Honestly, I think they got like a little bit too low there. I think they cost themselves some money, because a lot of people sent at 30 and like kind of kicked themselves. I think if they had went 25, 20, 18, but when they start going sub 18, and I could be wrong, I think they really need to go slow, because I think they're going to have to go 16, 14, 12, 10. because you run the risk. Like the last thing they want to do is open a monthly special and take in 5 million cards like they did in March of 2020.
Andrew's question is, will CGC lower? I think CGC will lower their bulk as soon as PSA opens 18 permanent. CGC has to respond. Business, they are sitting around doing nothing right now. I just sent a CGC order of 80 cards in and got it back in like 3 weeks, two and a half weeks. It was done. They're sitting around doing nothing right now. How else do you drive through business?
It's not that bad. They graded 15,000 cards in the past week.
That's
one thing I'm gonna do is like we only have it since April 6th when the pop report landed.
right.
But I'm going to self-promotion plug for Pokenomics Patreon this Sunday. I'm gonna go through a little bit about like, are they actually sitting around doing nothing, or what were they grading at the peak? What % of their peak capacity since the pop report has been out are they currently grading at? Just to kind of make those considerations, because there's a lot of people talking about a lot of different things. The numbers are there, just people aren't looking at them. It'll be
Thank you ahead of time
to actually see them, but we haven't had the pop report too long though, and the timing of I think when the pop report came out, they were already starting to slow down because they had already cleared most of their backlog. So you won't be able to tease out like too much of that. But
it would be interesting to see. Well, I guess you really wouldn't be able to see like what kind of uptick in submissions they got when they changed their grading scale. But that was right around the time they introduced the pop report.
I would imagine
I don't think they changed their grading scale as much as people think.
They 100% changed their grading scale. They definitely did. No, it's a night and day difference.
I think going twice from Whatnot had a lot to do with that too. They have an exclusive deal with CGC, and I think it's Andrew. Bull Card Shop knows him. He talked to CGC. I would not be surprised if he was like, "Look, guys, just grade a little easier. You're getting free promotion." I mean, I had like, they are huge on Whatnot. They send hundreds of thousands of cards a year probably to them. They break.
I would not.
They break everything. They break sports. They break everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, what are they up to? Like a 30-man operation going twice.
They have a lot of employees. I know
a lot of employees.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely feel they grade easier. I don't know. But I stopped sending. I was using them for a long time. I stopped sending as soon as they raised their prices, and I got tired of getting 8.5s and paying more to get 8.5s. I'm like, I'm not going to. I think a lot of people stopped sending to CGC when they raised their prices. If they lower their prices back to $7 or $8 a slab, they're going to get flooded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
especially with easier grading.
Yeah. I think longer term.
You really don't think CGC's changed their grading scale?
I've vastly changed what I'm sending in, and I think a lot of people have too. When you get spanked with 3,000 8.5s, you straighten up and I didn't pre-grade anything. Who pre-grades for PSA? Just chuck them out there and you're gonna get 9s and 10s. They grade easy. So I did the same thing with CGC, and I wouldn't say they punished me. ZNG Emporium never punished, still stands. Because I had a bulk buyer take them all. I paid $7 a piece to grade them, and I had a bulk buyer take them for like $12-13 a slab. So I still did well. Because they were, so many of them were 50 cent to $1 commons and uncommons from WotC. Like, stupid things to grade. But at PSA, they would have gotten 9s and 10s, and I would have sold them for $30 to $100 a piece.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I think they've gotten easier, but you're also seeing the fact that people are pre-grading cards now. It's both together, 100%.
Is it a 50-50 or is it like a
how much
I would
is
say
one,
like
how much is the other?
70-30?
I have no idea. Anyone can allocate their own, but by no means are they giving like less than 1% of cards are still getting perfect 10s. Less than, I don't have my, I'm so terribly organized with all my spreadsheets. but less than far less than 10% are getting flat 10s, and PSA is still giving out 37% 10s. So I've heard and read people saying, oh, they grade easier than PSA now. It is nowhere near that territory. They still give out less 9.5s and plus up versus what PSA gives out. And again, like, I don't pre-grade anything. Well, I pre-grade a little bit with PSA, not much though. Like, they grade, it's pretty easy to get a 9 at PSA. But
yeah,
I think CGC, it's funny. All this, I don't know if I'd call it rhetoric or what, but all this conversation was going on about, oh, CGC is going to have to go down. What are they going to do? Wasn't it like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago they raised prices?
Yeah, they raised their pricing right as PSA announced the $18 special.
That was hilarious. So, like, in spite of all the conversation, oh, it's obvious they're gonna have to go down again. We're gonna go up. Like, they're still grading 15,000 cards a day. They have that partnership with PWCC. They're doing the thing with the Whatnot people. Maybe they get a different clientele than PSA. Maybe somehow when PSA, like, in my opinion, I'm gonna win the bet narrowly over James because they're going to have $12 grading in December of 2023. And maybe CGC only has to be 10, and maybe they get enough work at 10 because they're going into video games at some point, and that's got to divert some amount of resources. Like, maybe they do some things PSA doesn't too. So
True.
Yeah, CGC's parent company grades a ton of stuff.
They're different divisions, though. They're different divisions. What's his name? Green Shiz went down there to talk, and I watched his video.
But even under CGC, like, maybe they pick up more of a niche with MetaZoo, with Weiss, with all these other things they do. Maybe they pick up Yu-Gi-Oh! And
DBZ, yeah.
Yeah, like, maybe they do less Pokemon proportionally, but they pick up these other things PSA doesn't. And yeah, I don't know. Like, they'll likely come down from where they are. Like, right now it's 15. I'm a little surprised that hasn't come down yet. I thought it was really funny when they went up. But yeah, I think by the end of the year, PSA will be back in the vicinity of 18, and I could see CGC coming down a few bucks. End of 2023, I see PSA at 10 to 12 and CGC at 7 to 11-ish, maybe somewhere in there. Those would be my guesses.
I think the next time PSA opens a new tier, CGC will respond. A permanent tier opens, CGC will respond. And as PSA opens lower tiers, CGC will respond accordingly. They need to be competitive. They just do.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch how it develops.
Yeah.
That will be interesting for sure.
We got into a bunch of ranty... We got on the PSA backlog. Lost sight of what we were even asked for a minute there, but we got on the PSA backlog rant, and that always gets me fired up. But nice question, Andrew. So Cly Oliver, I posted a few things on eBay for the first time in 10 plus years, and in a couple months have only sold one thing, so I deleted everything. Should I go Nick's route and do 99-cent singles? I think this was more of a meme question than a real one. No 99-cent singles, please. No. Nick does have a recent video where he said, oh, I'm done with 99-cent singles because now I'm going for TCG Player 6-cent singles. Like, oh my God. Go on about that, Nick.
Gave up and finally listened to everyone, gave up the 99-cent singles, and moved that over to TCG Player, where it's a much more reasonable 5 to 10 cents a card.
Whoops.
No, I did that because the sales volume and like the number of sales that you're getting on TCG Player is a lot higher than on eBay. And TCG Player has the TCG Player Direct, which is, it's kind of like Evo. Where they're fulfilling individual orders, which that is so nice right there.
I bet.
So not having to ship out all these individual orders myself is definitely nice.
So I use TCG Player too, and this is interesting if anyone out there has this happen to them. I I hadn't been getting any sales through, although I had been listing, because when I break, if I have any bulk left, I'll pull out some of the trainers sometimes and list those on TCG Player. You know, the ones that are like 15 cents, 20 cents, whatever. But I wasn't getting any sales for months, and I was just thinking, I was lowest. I was always lowest, and just thinking to myself, like, God, everyone must hate me or something. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I can't get a single sale. And I was like 5 sales away from becoming TCG Player Direct. Like, I needed like 5 sales. So I'm like listing everything. I'm like listing like first edition Neo Gen rares, like $2 under market, just to try and get 5 sales. I'm not getting a single sale. So
I know where this is going already.
So I finally emailed customer service, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm a seller, and I don't know, am I doing something wrong? I find it could be that no one wants to buy from me, but I find it highly unlikely. I was getting consistent sales, and then all of a sudden I got no sales for months. And they're like, oh, if you don't list anything in a certain amount of time, your store automatically goes into hibernate mode. On all your auctions get listed as hidden until you toggle that off. So I was like, oh, all right, great, thanks. I toggled it off and went to bed, and I woke up with like 200 sales for stuff I didn't even have anymore. And I was like, oh God, I didn't even check the inventory. So I had to cancel. I canceled so many orders, I got flagged for canceling too many orders. I was like, oh God, here we go. So I hibernated it again until I quickly turned it off until I could adjust all the inventory. I just thought that was funny.
I don't understand why they have that little flag if you refund so many buyers within the same time frame. And it's a low limit. For me, I refunded like 3 people one time. And the 4th person I tried to refund, I got that little flag error message saying I couldn't refund them because I've refunded too many people.
Yeah, same.
So I don't understand that. I accidentally, because TCG Player is it's good, but you got to be careful because
you do.
Like there's a lot of like deck exclusive cards that have like the Vivid Voltage set symbol, and the card from Vivid Voltage to be like a holo rare. And I'll accidentally click on that one and enter my quantity, but this one that I have is the deck exclusive non-holo, and it's confusing sometimes. But yeah, no, I love the low dollar cards. That's always been my wheelhouse, always will be. The thing with that though is you need to have the inventory, because you're not looking for that single 99-cent sale. You're looking for those multiple 5-10 card orders that people make.
Yeah, you want 10 6-cent cards so you can get a full 60 cents. Everyone, go check out Old School Pokemon on TCG Player. He has a lot of 6-cent singles. What's it cost for shipping if they buy one?
99 cents.
Oh,
so at least I'm making money now.
So you're actually getting more than the 99-cent free shipping on eBay.
Yes.
Go fill out your binders one by one on Old School Pokemon on
one
TCG
order
Player.
at a time. One order at a time. Everyone go.
I say that, but like,
you got to make sure that it doesn't say it's a direct sale.
Right.
It's gonna be one of the ones that isn't direct.
Yeah. I tried TCG Player several months ago. I wasn't a huge fan of it, so I turned it off. With UFO, I might try selling singles for that, and I never got to where I had enough volume for direct, so I would be doing it all myself. I contemplating it, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just go eBay standard envelope.
I would say if you are doing it yourself, TCG Player is not worth it. Direct makes it worth it. If it wasn't for direct, I would be all on eBay, because it is a pain in the butt having to ship your own orders through there.
Yeah. That's why I love Evo. They ship all of them. They house all the cards. Very, very nice. Next question, I paraphrased pretty heavily, but it was actually directed at you, Joe, if you want to take that one.
Sure. So Island Hustle says, can you guys discuss what you know about the 2010 Pikachu World Collection, the one with the country flags in the background of the Pikachu in different languages? Very cool collection. Very, very cool. I actually owned it for a long time before I even realized there were different country flags in the background. Um, um, pretty limited release. I remember, back in the day, it wasn't very abundant. I think I got 2 sets and called it at that. You're gonna pull them up. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are definitely cool. I don't really know how limited they are in release. They're relatively easy to grade too. From what I've seen. But that's about all I know of them. That's right around when was probably one of the last promo sets I picked up before I stopped collecting. Around that time, there was a lot of promos being released in weird ways. A lot of the Platinum era promos and the early Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver. It was I was a promo collector, so I tried to pick up every promo for my promo binder. I wanted one of every promo. If I kept going through, God knows, I'd probably still be doing that. And it was easier
I was
to do
going
that.
to ask you if you have kept that up, because
I
you
stopped.
admit, how many promo cards are there at this point?
It's insane. I actually went on Bulbapedia the other day to look. It's insane. That's the other thing I was going to say is back in the day, it was a lot easier to do because there was not as many of them. Even when Nintendo started to do a lot, obviously way more than Wizards ever did. But even when Nintendo first started doing it, it was doable to collect a full promo collection from the different releases, especially if you used eBay. And a lot of people did not use eBay back then, but I used eBay back then to fill in a lot of collection holes. And yeah, it was a fun goal. It was fun to do. It was fun to make a promo binder and they were all numbered, so it was easy to find which ones you were missing and go out and find them and search them down. But the Pikachu World collections, that's the second Pikachu World. They made another one too. There was an earlier
The
Pikachu
original
World.
one, yeah.
The original one, yeah. With the little Pikachu tail symbol. Do you have one?
I do actually.
Oh, there you go. Hey, look at that.
That's fun.
But if anyone else can maybe comment on the rarity of them, I don't know how limited that release was.
I don't really know either. I'm familiar with the cards, but you said more than I would have been able to say. So
okay,
it's why we had you on.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I don't know much about those either. I think they're cool. They're Pikachu, but aside from that,
when you have you guys really stared at the flags in the background? Have you guys actually held them in person?
I have one. It's sealed though, so I've never.
They are really neat when you start to look at I couldn't unsee the American flag once somebody pointed, and I did not see it originally, and still somebody pointed it out to me. And now when you look at them, it's like, wow, yeah, these really are cool. And they each have like a little, so like the U.S. one I think is the Grand Canyon, if I remember right.
Yeah, I'll get it pulled back up.
And each country has a different national location. Yeah, so like Pikachu's and you can see the red, white, and the blue.
I think it's not an actual flag, but it's like the canyon walls, and then it's the stars in the sky. I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So then, like the next one, like that's you got green, white, and then red. That's the Mexican flag, right? Or the Spanish flag.
Italian?
Is it Italian? That is CIO. Yeah, that's Italian. Okay, I'm not.
You're close. You're close.
I'm not a flag person.
No,
I just know that. I just know that's the theme.
I was just trying to think of the different languages that Pokemon came in.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on these by any means.
Oh, the rising sun.
But that is the theme. Yes, is
Japanese?
that each? Yep, is
Right?
that each
that
one? So that I believe that one in the middle is that Korean?
I was gonna say Japanese because
Is it
the
Japanese?
red circle in the middle.
Oh, I don't see. I don't
I don't
see
know.
that.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
I think it is Japanese. That looks like Kana.
Oh.
They're cool though. They're unique.
Each one is supposed to subtly be the country's colors too, in some way or the other. But yeah,
I never knew that.
they're neat.
That is cool.
Cool little release. Pretty niche thing.
Yeah.
This next one. Poke Family Gaming. How do you organize your workspace? When I have incoming packages, lots, etc., my office is absolute anarchy. So Nick commented something on this like, what's organization? And that's essentially my answer. If I pan the camera in any direction, it would be a nightmare. I have an idea for what ultimately I want my system to be. I have a bit of a vault that I want to do a video on at some point in the future that houses, it actually comes back up in a future question for tonight, where I house my graded inventory, most of it. The super high-end stuff gets housed at like a safe deposit box. But yeah, theoretically, I have inventory, and then I have like a table that's supposed to be incoming to-do list type stuff. I have a place, but if you look at any flat surface is just filled with everything. Like, so I have, when I built my office and when I laid everything out, I had a vision that just never came to fruition. Like, it never happened. I want to get there. I kind of, when I did my inventory, my vault got way better. That is way better. I pulled everything out of it and I only put stuff back in as it was listed, because for a while there was like a lot of stuff intermingled that wasn't. So yeah, I have a little bit of a separation between what's listed and what's not. But as far as like excess stuff that needs to be listed, incoming stuff that needs to go to Troll and Toad, stuff that needs to whatever, huge mess. So yeah, that's a big thing that I need to continually work on that I'm not very good at. How about you guys?
Nick,
you want to go for this one?
Sure.
Let's hear about your perfectly organized collection and room.
Well, it's a little bit more disorganized now, having gotten back 12 packages from PSA and having to find some place to put them. I have in my head my business model and my ideal week workflow, what I need, input, output. I have a way to. I think one of the keys that gets overlooked very often is when running any sort of Pokemon endeavor, enterprise, business, whatever you want to call it. So you need to have a way to liquidate any particular thing and any particular, like, you have to have a way to sell different things. Everything you have to. Dan talks about this a lot, about optimizing. And I also, this is one of the things he talks about a lot that I absolutely love, is the optimization puzzle of how to fully optimize everything that you have in your business. A lot of my organization is based off of the optimization problem. I have different aspects of my business about how I sell different things. In an ideal world, I have enough room to operate on a day-to-day basis. When I don't is when curveballs get thrown at me, like 12 PSA orders in a month. Then I'm like, I was not expecting this, and I'm clamoring for table space as well. When I sent those cards away, also the way I had intended to sell them, as I think I've mentioned once already, was different now than it is now. So when I have to adjust on the fly, and I am having to to find new ways to sort and organize, because I'm now having to keep more inventory for a longer period of time than I had originally intended. My original business model was not to keep everything here, or a lot of stuff here in my office. Also, with the recent personal family changes, I've relocated my office in my house. I basically had this office built out of half of a living room. And I do have a smaller workspace than I originally did have also. I do utilize part of my garage for shipping. As far as modern product goes, that's where I store most of my modern. That and the attic for some of it. Climate controlled, of course. So I think it's a very hard question to. That's how I personally organize is based off of what I have to do on a day-to-day basis. You have stuff that you need easy access to, but you need to know where everything is at, and then you have long-term stuff, and I also have to have different workspace areas in order to stream whatnot, which is a little tricky also. So I have 2 specific table setups based off of the different types of streams I run that are workspace areas also. Like right now, right next to me, I have my stream ready to go for tomorrow morning. This is space that I would be able to utilize differently if my business model was different. So everyone's slightly different. So I think it might depend on what you're trying to do, Poke Family Gaming, a little bit. But label makers are your friend too. Label makers are great.
That is a good point. I'm like Sheldon when it comes to labeling stuff. If you guys have seen The Big Bang Theory,
Does your label maker have a label maker? A label on it? I love that show.
Such a good show. But yeah, organization is so hard. Me and Dan talk about it all the time, how our desk is always just covered in cards, and you'll clean it one morning, that afternoon it'll look exactly like it did before you cleaned it. I have no idea why, but for me, I'm decent about keeping organized. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement. So I have 2 spaces down here, which I'm in the basement right now, if you couldn't tell from the ceiling tiles. But down here is a complete disaster. There's just stuff everywhere down here. Upstairs, where I used to record some videos, I have that office, and that's where I keep all of my active listings, packaging supplies, all that stuff. That room I keep organized. I don't bring anything into that room until it's listed on eBay, which that is something that I think is important, because once it's listed on eBay, you kind of want to know exactly where it is, especially if you're selling single cards for 5 cents a piece. You don't want to be spending a half an hour trying to find that card. So it's organization is definitely important, but it is also very challenging, and having a limited amount of space makes it that much harder. One thing that I've been thinking a lot about recently, and I'd like to try and accomplish, it's been my goal for the past year or so. I really want to get to a point where I have everything down here all organized and done with what I want to do with it. So that way, when I get a new collection, I can immediately go through that, do whatever I want to do with it, and kind of just repeat that cycle. Go through that collection before buying a new collection, and so on and so forth. Now it's not that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. Sometimes I get a PSA return. Like it's been a few months since I got a return, and it was a 500 card one. I still haven't listed all of those cards. Some of it is like their lower tier ones. I took the most valuable ones, and I got those 100 up first. And when it comes to like $20 to $50 cards, I just really slow down. I prioritize a lot of things ahead of it.
Makes sense.
And now I got it was it was weird how the MetaZoo shipped, because UFO landed today. 44 packages, 1,000 pounds total.
Wow.
They didn't ship it on a pallet.
Wow.
Really?
44 packages.
Your UPS driver must have been pissed.
I helped them FedEx. So yeah, it sucks because like I did stacks of 4 and I did 11 stacks of 4. And then I realized that one of them was like my Pokemon Go, Pokemon Center ETBs.
And it's probably way in the back.
So he's going to be back he's going to be back tomorrow because I got 44 total, but the MetaZoo shipment alone was supposed to be 44.
Oh,
so
okay.
one box got left. He'll probably be back tomorrow, and he'll be like, "Yeah, we missed this one yesterday." But yeah,
you must have taken up like the majority of his truck.
surprisingly, a lot less than I would have thought. Like the boxes were fairly small, so I bought 400 booster boxes.
Dang.
Each case is 12. Like there's a master case with 2 inner cases of 6. And so yeah, I got like 30 whatever boxes were that. 33 boxes were that. Just and not too big. And maybe I was not even a quarter of the truck, I wouldn't think.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it wasn't a tractor trailer, but it was one of the bigger. Like they have multiple sizes.
Right. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a big U-Haul size, like not a 16-foot U-Haul, like a 20-something foot.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it was, but it was a big one.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, organization, that's a constant battle. The long-term goal, like Nick said, is just to have a little bit of backlog is nice. I will never have a day that I sit around and wonder what to do. Theoretically, it would be nice. It would be nice to get there, like a semi-retirement type thing almost.
I actually remember being at that point.
I've never.
Not too long ago.
Never.
Really?
8 years, I've always had mystery boxes and totes, and I still have way too many.
Wow.
I would have thought a year of doing this full time, and I probably said it early on that a year and a half in, I'll be done and through it. No end in sight.
Well, the more, since you're able to spend more time on the business, you're able to buy more.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
Yep.
Yep.
Good problem to have, though, to some extent, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you want to go ahead with this next one, Nick.
Sure. So next question, PokeMartin. I liked this question. This is a trick question. What's more profitable, opening $5,000 of BattleStyles or opening $5,000 of Evolving Skies? Now that you've admitted one is better than the other, what's the most undervalued set to open? I open BattleStyles and it does not have anything. There's a lot of good playable trainers in BattleStyles. But aside from like chase cards, you got the Sleeping Tyranitar, and that's about it. Evolving Skies, you do have a lot of cards. So I would definitely say of the two, Evolving Skies being more profitable. But as far as the next part of the question, what's the most undervalued set to open? Undervalued set to open. If it's between, is it just between the two? One is better than the other. What's the most under? So I would assume it's either between the two, right?
However you want to take it, could be.
I'll see. My answer would flip flop at that point. I would say BattleStyles just because it's cheaper. That's
True.
a crap question. I don't like that question.
It's an interesting question. I could tell you which one I'd rather open 5,000.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, BattleStyles, you're only going to open, or Evolving Skies, you're only going to open half the product, right? But you do have a lot more hits to chase. I didn't open either. I opened one Evolving Skies box that I did a YouTube video for. I opened 0 BattleStyles. I think I was only allocated 3 or 4 cases, and I sold them for like $800 or $900 a piece at release, because that was still the period where people were paying too much out of the gate, hyping modern investing, doubling up your money in a year or 6 months or something. But yeah, I feel like both you're probably gonna make out better with Evolving Skies, especially if you grade them. Some of those cards are still going for crazy in PSA 10 to me. So that would be my play. That one's probably more undervalued to open, but it's risky though too. Some of these individual cards like Moonbreon, Rayquaza VMAX, 1 out of 700 or 1 out of 1,000 packs or something. So like statistically speaking, you should get one of each, but math doesn't work that way. If you open 1,000 packs, you're not guaranteed to hit one. You could open 5. You could open none. So there's going to be a lot of variance.
Yeah. I have really no comment on that one.
Yeah, the biggest thing I can add is if you're gonna open, like, do these mass openings of product, it needs to happen
ASAP.
that week of release. Like, you need to have everything listed for the Friday of release.
Yep.
Code cards. I go back and forth with selling the code cards myself or just bulking them out to someone. I've always just bulked them out just because I hate code cards. And I think it would be a massive pain to sell them myself. But code cards you need to get rid of as quickly as possible because those things tank in value.
Yep.
Like, I remember Astral Radiance. I opened like half of my allocation for Friday. I had it all, Astral Radiance. So opened half of my allocation for Friday, had that already on TCG Player. That was the first set that I was selling on TCG Player, selling everything on TCG Player. And sales were far beyond my expectations. So I ended up opening another 20-ish boxes on Friday. And I sold the original code cards on Thursday before the set came out. Don't tell anyone. And I got like 40 cents a piece for them.
Nice.
And then I tried to sell another set of code cards on Saturday, and the price was like 25 cents a piece. So 2 days, and the price almost halves.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the code cards were that much at release.
They can be expensive.
Yeah. I usually bulk mine out at like way after the fact at 5 cents a code card or whatever.
Oh no, those things have good value right at release.
Interesting. Okay. Didn't know that.
Gotta be real quick. I think we covered that one though. YFN Slowbro, in your opinion, what impacts demand, not necessarily price, for a card the most? Rarity, artwork, set collectors, popularity of the Pokemon, or something else? Interesting question. So what impacts demand, not necessarily price? If you're impacting demand, you're going to impact price most frequently. I would think it would be hard to think of a time where, I guess it depends on how much supply there is of that given card, but what impacts demand the most? I think, honestly, like the most demanded cards in the hobby, that nostalgia. So I'm going to throw in a wild card, and I'm going to say nostalgia. Ancient Mew, Base Unlimited Charizard, all the reprints of Base Unlimited Charizard that just stunk to the moon. I would think like that's my take on which, especially when you're talking about Base Unlimited Charizard, that's getting into the popularity of the Pokemon tied to the nostalgia. So I'm answering nostalgia, but it's a little bit popularity. But I'm going to go with that for my answer.
I'll go because Nick's doing something.
Go for it.
I was going to say the same thing. Popularity of Pokemon followed by rarity. Followed by probably set collecting, and then lastly, artwork. Artwork is a subtle thing that's subjective to most people. It's hard to transcend. It's hard to get the same 10 people to agree on the best artwork of anything. Popularity of Pokemon by far and away. Rarity after that. Umbreon is fantastic. The rarer the Umbreon, the more fantastic. Sometimes, the rarer can tie to the artwork, because if something has great artwork, more people want it, more people destroy it, the rarity goes up. A lot of these do interlock with each other. If, for instance, there's like the McDonald's Umbreon, the Japanese McDonald's Umbreon. I got people asking me for that card all the time. They love that card, but it's very rare. But it also happens to be a fantastic artwork too. So why do the people like it? Because the artwork's really good on it, or because it's rare, or both? Like, would they have liked it as much if it was stupid artwork but really rare? I don't know. It would probably not be one of the most popular Umbreon cards. So a lot of these do work. A lot of these do work hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like Moonbreon's extremely rare, but it is arguably not one of the better artworks. And you can get a lot of people to agree with that. That is not one of the best Umbreon artworks.
That's a tough one. I really like that artwork.
The VMAX one?
Yeah.
See, I like the regular V one better.
With him just sitting on the stairs?
I just don't like... Huh?
With him, like, sitting on the stairs?
Ruling over all the other Dark Pokemon like he's King Dark?
That one's
yeah.
No.
Everyone bows before Umbreon. That's fantastic. Now you're going to look at it differently. He is the leader of the night. It's Umbreon.
Let us know in the comments below. Are you team Nick with the Moonbreon, or are you team Lord Umbreon V?
Lord Umbreon V. Look, Pinsir's got... Who is that? That's Grimmsnarl. He's got nothing on him. Look at him.
But yeah, I think it's different though too with set cards versus like when you're talking about the ultra rare promo cards, trophy cards. I think rarity trumps more than anything. Like,
I would disagree with that one.
Go
ahead and finish. Sorry.
Like and this was like a one-off. Rusty mentioned it was a data point. It's not the market price, but like that finalist, it wasn't to do with the popularity of the Pokemon, because the same Pokemon's on all the different variants. When you get into those stamped champion on down to the no stamp or the staff stamp, it's the same artwork, it's the same species on the card. It's the only thing different is the rarity, and you do see scaling price really significantly. So yeah, I think with cards on the higher end, rarity is more of a factor, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that. Because I was going to say, look at the Illustrator versus the 97 Pikas. The Pikas are obviously more rare, but the Illustrator is more popular and has a higher price point.
And that one a little bit might be nostalgia. I've heard people say, and I don't share this experience, a lot of people knew about the Illustrator when they were younger. I didn't
because of Top Deck, because of all the magazines. It was a feature on one of them was the front page. The artwork from the Illustrator took front cover of those magazines. A lot of my friends back then, I subscribed to all of them, and I know a lot of my friends did too. So,
and see, I might have owned a magazine that had it in there. I just never when I got back into the hobby in 2014, E4, that's when I started learning about all those. Maybe I was exposed to them some when I was younger, but it wasn't like some people have a really nostalgic connection to like the lore of that. Even pre-release Raichu, like the playgrounds up in the woods where I was hanging out, nobody was talking about the pre-release Raichu. We had like one place that people were able to play. I didn't really know anyone that played back then. It was a Toys R Us 30 minutes from where I lived. So I never played. Like, that's largely why I never got into playing, because there was nowhere to play near me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have anything further, Nick? That was a good question. I like that.
No, I would agree with both of you guys. I think I liked yours, Dan, with the nostalgia. I think that's a big one. And then the other one being popularity of the Pokemon. I think those are definitely the two biggest for sure.
I really like this next one we have coming too. Really good questions.
Or is it going to be shitting on me?
No.
Is that why you like it?
Not like for meme reasons. It's actually a solid question, I think.
So Jay, Pokemart UK, January 2023. Hype and Mania are gone. What does Pokemon do to drive up the demand? Box toppers, first edition print waves, signed cards, or serialized cards? That's an interesting question. I honestly, it's tough right now because I think Pokemon right now is doing everything right in terms of artwork, and it's just it's hard to imagine us coming out of this period and Pokemon kind of dying off again and becoming less popular and them needing to do something to drive up demand. But as far as what they could do to drive up demand, I would say I don't know if serialized cards, as much as people like to talk about the serialized cards, I don't think that would be the solution. Unless it was something like a Topps collaboration with Pokemon. But the actual TCG, I don't think would be the solution. I can see first editions being something that would drive more interest. What's up with that face, Dan?
Please no. Please no.
I think first edition would be cool. And I think that would help because then you have players, collectors, getting back into it. So I think that would be the way to go. What would your solutions be?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't think Pokemon has to do anything to drive up demand with 9 billion cards sold. I think they're doing just fine, and I think that little Timmy in Walmart agrees. With that being said,
we're past that though. Pokemon's only printing 10 cards a year now.
Oh, okay.
not even a full booster pack anymore.
With that being said, Pokemart UK, I know what you're driving at. How do you want to? What can Pokemon do to recreate the fervor of collectors and recreate the boom? But what you have to understand is that was not Pokemon's goal. That was artificial. They didn't do that. They didn't see that coming. They got that wasn't intentional. Don't give them credit where credit's not due. They're printing Champion's Path over here. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. They printing Champion's Path. Like, they did not intend for that to stonk. That's a crap set. What could they do? I think that if they cared, which I don't think that they do, I think that they print machine goes burr and just want Timmys to consume cards in Walmart. So let's assume that they actually cared. I think that they should mirror set releases a lot more akin to the way Japan does it. The Japanese consumer base is extremely loyal, extremely more real-time demand, real-time market, and more engaged, way more engaged on the secondary market than America really is. But they care more about that over there than the Pokemon Company International doesn't care at all what the price of a Moonbreon is going to go for. They don't. They want to move units, and that's all they care about. And right now, they are moving units. They are units of units. So I'm assuming that they're thinking they're doing everything right. What would I personally like them to see do? Somebody who's Old Card Shop threw this out there in one of his recents. I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was a fantastic idea that I never thought of. He is a Magic player like I was. I played Magic for a very long time. Zendikar was one of the old Magic sets that I actually collected a lot of. I have a lot of Zendikar. Nobody knew this at the time, but the first print wave, Wizards threw Alpha and Revised and Beta cards. You could pull an original Mox Pearl out of a Zendikar box. They were randomly inserted, one per case or whatever, like one every, like it was only if you got a case of something, it would have one in it. It wasn't like they were very common, but nobody knew this right away until like after the first print run. And there's no way to tell first print run from second print run or anything like that. But those booster boxes now go for a ton of money because you could pull reserve list cards out of them. If Pokemon Nintendo all of a sudden started putting Stormfront Charizards old stock so that you couldn't tell the print difference, but had some old Stormfront Charizards laying around and started randomly inserting some of the older vintage stuff. Like, oh my God, could you imagine like grabbing a case of Lost Origins and pulling out like a gold star or something out of that? Like the market would go crazy for that stuff.
I think on that, I think we'd go crazy to some extent. I don't think Timmy at Walmart would. I don't think
I
their
don't
core
either.
demographic would.
But
Like they'd rather pull a Rainbow Rare, or they'd rather pull an alt art.
that's why I don't think they do it. But that would answer Pokey. That would create a hype. That would create a hype in the secondary market if that occurred. But that's not their goal, so they're never going to do that. I don't think that they're thinking along the lines of, oh, we need to throw in more box toppers. We need to print first edition. We need to do sign. They don't need to do any of that.
See, I think on a long enough timeline, a lull is inevitable. Sports cars, and I'm not calling it now. I'm not saying that's where we're headed next year, next 2 years, but 9.1 billion cards is a lot. Was it too much? Was it not enough? Well, for BattleStyles, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, I think I hit all of them that are available at my distributor right now. Seems like it might have been too much for Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance. Those ones seems like it wasn't enough because they're 150 plus or 120, 130 plus. But this Evolving Skies reprint, if it's big enough, they could beat the price down on that to $89.99 or less. If they print another 9.1 billion, 10 billion, 12 billion next year, we could go into a kind of overproduced junk wax is a scary term, but we could, if Pokemon handles things incorrectly and demand really wanes, whether that's because of broader market recession, depression, whatever, if they keep the printers running and they overshoot for a year or 2 or 3, it could get ugly, I think. And if and when it does get ugly, and if and when they need to reach into the bag of tricks to do something, sports went serialized and it worked. That is where I would lean, whether they do it in this or whether they do a flawless style Topps release. I was recently talking about this, I think, with Jake on his channel. Fanatics is going to, or not, Fanatics bought all the rights from Topps, which is going to be going on in a few years. They're going to be just taking all the major sports from Topps. So Topps might be looking for work. Maybe they hit up Pokemon and say, hey, we need to do something. Why don't we? They're doing stuff with MetaZoo right now. They're doing serialized cards with MetaZoo. They hit up Pokemon. Hey, you guys want to make a few $100 million or $1 billion with us over the next decade? Let's sign up a licensing deal. Let's get this thing going. And maybe you get signed cards and serialized cards and all that kind of stuff in a premium product to just kind of reinvigorate. I would love that, honestly, myself. That's where I think they'd head if a lull, if and when a lull comes around. I mean, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, with the Topps, I can see that one. I can't see them ever doing like the standard set releases with serialized cards.
I think alt arts is the closest we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Some sort of alternate rarity scheme that doesn't require you to have that card to play the game. Because they do keep their players in mind.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And people have talked about it. When you put a number on something, then it's hard or impossible to reprint it because what do you do now? You numbered Moonbryon from 1 to 100. You print the second wave. Do you do? I guess you could do 101 to 200, or I don't know what you do there.
True.
But it makes things messier in that regard.
True.
I don't think they'd do anything crazy like that in the TCG. So
that's why first edition stamp's the answer.
I would love first edition. I love first edition. I just don't think it's going to happen. I would like.
You know what distributors are going to do with that? Distributors.
Oh yeah, It would have to be something where Pokemon sells the first edition directly,
like through this Pokemon Center exclusively.
It wouldn't be able to be through distribution, because then they would jack up the price.
That would be cool though if they did somehow tie it to their ETBs, where the ETBs on the Pokemon Center are the ones that contain the first edition cards, and you had to buy them through their Pokemon Center ETBs. That would be cool.
There we go. Now we're thinking.
You would have to.
I hope not.
Would you open them or would you keep them sealed? Would you open them? You can only buy so many. You can only buy
I wouldn't
4.
open any of it.
I'd keep them sealed. Yeah,
I'd probably open them.
I don't like variants. It just makes everything more complicated, more listings, more. I don't like variants.
I will say that now because whoever said it, was it Dan who brought it up to Nick in one of your previous podcasts about the synergy or the equilibrium that the set symbol carries with the first edition marker on everything but base.
Oh yeah, yep.
That was cool. Whoever pointed that out, I can't remember who pointed that out.
I think that was you, Dan, who mentioned that.
Was it? That until you mentioned that, I never realized it until you said that. I was like, that makes complete sense now. It balances the card. It balances it out. It's nice, yeah. Because I too also prefer shadowless non-first over first when I'm looking at them side by side. If I have to be honest, and I never realized it. Why? Clean.
That was your big revelation. 35 episodes in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next question comes in from Based Blue Boy. Do you allow buyers to send offers? If so, what is the general price threshold you auto decline? 99% of the time, no. I price low list on eBay and I just click the buy now button, pay me, I'm going to ship to you. Let's not talk. Let's just do this. I get the money, you get the card, done. The only times I do best offer, like right now I have about 1,000 listings. There might be 10 with best offer.
Really?
Maybe there's more, but like really expensive things that I have listed kind of high. And I always put the best offer, like I think I have some art academies up right now for like 10K OBO. Recent sales are maybe 5 to 7, depending on the one. I probably have auto decline set to like 4 to 5. I wouldn't take that low, but like if someone's offering 5, they could probably get to 7, and I would probably think of selling in that range. So yeah, but I get messages all the time, and it's so annoying. Like it is. I'm on the low list on eBay for 22, 21.95, 19.95, whatever it is. Can you do 18.50? Can you do? Sometimes it's 90 cents less.
Yep.
And it's like I'm responding to this message, so I'm going to raise the price by $1 because I just had to put more time and energy into this card. Like. I actually recently did a promotion thing through eBay where if someone buys 3 items, it knocks $5 off. Every 3 items you buy, if you buy 30, you save $150. Because when I ship 1 slab, it costs like $4, and if I ship 3, it costs like $5. So if you buy 3 at a time, yeah, I'll give you $5 off. I have like a copy paste auto reply thing that if someone messages me, I'm like, hey, if you want to take 3 cards, I'll knock $5 off the 3. But no, I'm not going to knock $2 off this $20 card or whatever. Like, wait for me to do a sale. And I might knock $4 off 1,000 listings all at once. But no, I'm not going to knock $2 off this one card.
Yeah.
I don't like. And if I had best offers enabled, I would get so much of that all day, every day. I get it once a day now. So that's where I'm at with best offers.
Yeah, no. How many has the that buy 3 save $5 thing? Have you noticed more people buying more cards?
I love the promotion because I get way more. Like I don't keep exact numbers on it, but I get a lot more multi-quantity orders for sure.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a shot too. Because I do the volume discounts. Like if you buy 1 of this item or 2 of this item, 3, 4, whatever, and that helps. But yeah, I've never tried the different items. I might give that one a shot. But as far as the best offers go, I'm surprised you don't have the best offer on more of your listings. I do it on everything.
So it's 50. I have it on 5% of my listings. I just looked.
That's still not a lot. I do it on everything. Everything listed at $14.99 and above has a best offer. I don't use the auto decline feature because as a buyer, I absolutely hate auto declines.
Everyone, after you buy the 6-cent TCG player card from Nick,
Go message.
go send him a 6-cent offer on every listing he has.
You can only send 99-cent offers.
You are crazy. 99 cents. Go send 99 cents on every $100 card he has listed. You're crazy, Nick.
No, I as a buyer, I cannot stand the auto decline feature. Because to me, it's just saying like the seller doesn't want to talk to you. So why am I going to try and work with the seller if he's not going to bother even looking at my offer? So if I make an offer
Please
and
don't
it says
talk to
auto
me.
decline, I'm not going to do anything with that seller. I'll go somewhere else where someone wants to actually deal with me.
Don't you not want to talk to your buyers though? Aren't your favorite buyers the one that just buy it, you ship it, and then you never talk?
Yeah, but those aren't my favorite sellers. As a seller, I love that, but as a buyer, I hate that. And you're really not getting many offers. It might take a half hour of the day responding to offers.
That's a lot.
Oh, come on.
That's 6% of your day.
Okay, what's a 4-hour live stream with Jake the other day?
True.
That was me trying to not submit 2,000 cards to PSA. I even said it during the live.
You're like, I'm holding back.
Well, tomorrow you're going to get a lot more offers than you normally do, I hope.
I'm going to be sure to clip that. Oh. What are your thoughts on that?
I am somewhere in the middle of you guys on that one. So I have on, let's say 90% of my listings, I do accept best offer. I set the best offer at a variable. I basically, when I'm listing the card, ask myself, realistically, first of all, how much should I pay for this? What am I into it? What's the absolute low? Like we all comp sales. So okay, last card sold for $250. I'm going to list this for $240, whatever. I'll go $10 under. Realistically, what's a price after eBay fees that I feel comfortable taking this card? So I may set auto decline on something like that at like $220, $230. Don't waste my time with anything less than that. Don't insult me with some $40 friggin' offer that I'm obviously not going to take on some EX era card that's like pretty rare or whatever. Like, don't try and lowball me. But on the other hand, like, yeah, I might.
Thanks.
What's
the absolute lowest?
Is that Nick's?
That's Nick.
Me.
What you have a PSA 10? Was that a 10?
Yeah.
You have a 10 Gold Star Umbreon. That's awesome.
That's on consignment for someone.
Oh.
You just got a solid offer that you better consider. Put some serious thought into considering it.
I'll be sure to give that some good consideration.
I have a 9. Want to consign my 9?
Everyone else, go check out that beautiful PSA 10 Umbreon. Feel free to let the offers fly. Let's the more offers you get, eBay probably pushes it. The algorithm probably likes it. So
that's another thing.
We're doing you a favor.
eBay does like to see the offers rolling in.
It really pisses me off that this one little tiny white speck on this freaking corner is like worth $10,000. It really, really pisses me off. This one tiny little white speck on this corner of this card that I threw in my binder when I opened it from a pack, not even sleeved, like 10 years ago, because no one thought it was going to be worth anything.
It's a non-holo. It's garbage.
It's a promo you get at League for doing nothing.
I guess I shouldn't be saying that when I'm trying to sell one.
They're rare, everyone. Sure.
Yeah.
You need them.
Oh.
Yeah, so I guess I'm somewhere in the middle of you guys.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go through tomorrow and make it so I only have 10 listings with best offer, because I was just looking at some of them that have it, and it's like, I don't want to come down on that. I don't know what I was doing.
Now's your chance, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I have auto declines on all of them, though. Like, 500 wouldn't get through if I had a PSA 10 Gold Star Umbreon. It would be like 9,900 or something, at least. But
No, because for one, the majority of my the things that I'm selling aren't super high end. On something like that, an auto decline at like 10,000 or something really low would make sense. But for the stuff that I'm selling, where it's 15, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, somewhere in there, if you're going to purchase one card, my bottom dollar is going to be higher than if you purchase 2 or 3 cards. Like if you make an offer of 30, or say I have something listed $29.99, you want to buy one copy of that card, my counter offer to you is going to be 25 bucks. But if you want to buy 2 cards, I'll go down to 20 bucks. If you want to buy 3 cards, I might go $17.50. So then, like, where do you put the auto decline at that point?
that's why I don't have best offer. I mean,
See, that's why I don't use auto decline.
I do the well, I would put it at 14. You're never gonna come under a 50% discount, right?
Yeah.
I would rather use like the buy 3 get $5 off, something like that. Like, what percent of your items do you sell through best offer versus just someone clicking buy it now?
Oh, so many. I don't know if I'll have to see if there's a way to see that, because I'd be curious myself.
I'm not sure.
It's definitely the vast majority.
Yeah, I do a lot through offers too, and I'll take it a step further. Daily I send people offers too on all my watchers.
I do
that on occasion.
That generates sales.
I run sales every so often, and I send offers, but like I just don't want to get a bunch of offers all day every day. I don't want to add to the time that I'm talking to people through eBay messages. It's just,
I will give you that. The eBay messages are so damn annoying. So annoying.
I get enough of them still without even offering it. I'm like, hey, what's the absolute lowest you'll take? And I say the list price. That's why I didn't add best offer.
I don't even, but that's the other thing is I don't reply to eBay messages. I'll just swipe delete. I don't even give them my time. Like I'm sure we could do like a whole show just on the rude messages we've gotten through eBay.
Nick did a video once. I actually want to do that.
Get back into that.
I've got a folder.
You got to read them.
Oh yeah.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be good content.
I use the memes channel in our Discord to highlight a bunch of my Nick,
when are you going to get in the Discord? Look, I know you have your own Discord and everything, but it's $10. Come on. You're the only one not in it.
That's why I don't join the Patreon.
Oh my
I don't want to
God.
get in the Discord.
It's a sandwich a month.
Yeah, but it's also way too distracting every month. Every day, I should say.
It is more expensive in lost productivity than it is in dollars, probably.
Oh my God.
That's fair.
Something to do while you're in the bathroom. Just read the Discord.
Then I'd be in the bathroom like 4 hours a day.
With as much as they talk about you, probably.
Yeah, one day Nick's gonna pay $10, pop in. He's gonna search his name in the Discord. 10,000 results. Search shopping cart. 5,000 results. Oh man.
Oh.
I think we covered that one.
That was a good question. I like that one.
This next one too, I think we fully covered it. If any of you, Matthew Bay asked about PSAs at 18, will CGC respond by going lower? We fully, I didn't realize it, but that's the same question.
Yeah.
I would say we covered that. So
check our timestamps, Matt. We covered that with, well, we don't timestamp it by the name, but we look for the timestamp about CGC lowering prices. It's somewhere. Andrew M.
covered that about an hour and a half ago, Matt.
Yeah. So here's the actual next question. Bryce M asks, most underrated Pokemon. Your personal opinion, and then a Pokemon you think is underrated that might have major growth in the card price over the years. And Bryce's 2 picks were Politoed, being like his personal opinion that Politoed just underrated, and then Ampharos as far as like monetarily underrated.
Okay.
So
That's a good question.
Yeah, I like it. My pick, maybe for both, and he hasn't even come out yet. He hasn't even gotten a card yet. But whatever it's worth,
God, I
Oh,
know what you're gonna
stop.
say.
whatever his cards are worth, whatever his rookie card is worth, it's not enough. Quaxley is the clear answer to this on both counts. Seriously though, like I don't know, my Charmander has a Snap Charmander that's like $100,000. I think that's like overrated price wise. I love Charmander. I love Haunter. I love Dragonite. A lot of the guys I like, they're pretty reasonably rated. Who's like a sleeper Pokemon? I can't even think. Maybe you guys go and I'll have to think
All
further.
You can take this one if you want.
So I would say, I don't know if I have an exact answer for this question, but I will answer as best I can. A Pokemon who's going to get the limelight soon, who I'm very surprised took this long to get it again, and if he gets an alt art, it's going to stonk, is Lugia. We're getting a Lugia, and I'm surprised we haven't gotten an alt art Lugia yet. Lugia is extremely popular, and it's been a minute.
That is true.
That is a really cool poster. He's looking for an underrated Pokemon.
I'm trying to figure out who's underrated.
A Pokemon that I get requested for singles all the time on literally every stream I do. 2. I'll go with 2. Rayquaza and Gengar.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Rayquaza and Gengar fans out there.
I like Gengar a lot. Yeah.
So do I. He was always one of my favorite. I like Gengar.
See, Pokemon Classic said in a video recently he likes Haunter more. I agree. I actually like Haunter more just because he's so damn. He's so damn goofy in the anime. I
could also understand that because in the Game Boy game, you it's a lot easier to get Haunter, and then you got to know what you're doing to get Gengar. You have Haunter, and you got to trade.
That's the thing. When I was younger, I did trade with a bunch of different people on the bus, but like I feel and I might not even have this actual memory, but I think I played with a Haunter quite a while without evolving him. But yeah, I guess maybe my answer would be Haunter just because I like him a lot, and most people are after Gengar, so he's got middle child syndrome.
I like it. Yeah, this is a tough one. For myself, I'll say no damage Ninetales. Just the no damage Ninetales though.
I still have a couple of those I need to sell you. You value them more than I do. Although I don't think you need any more at this point.
Oh, always need more. Always need more. Yeah, I don't think the legendary. I think the legendary birds could get some more love, specifically Moltres. Articuno and Zapdos, maybe. But so I guess that would be my answer. I know they got their alt arts in Chilling Reign, but the Galarian legendary birds aren't the same. I'm not a big fan of those. I just like the OG ones.
I want to see more anime. I want to see more of these characters. Like, I would love to see what they could do with the Galarian birds in like a movie. I bet they could make you like them. I bet they could make you like them if they made them cool enough in a movie.
They already have a cartoon. It's called Wile E. Coyote.
It's true. It does look like the Roadrunner. That's why he's my favorite of the 3, because I really liked Roadrunner growing up. I saw
that was a good show.
Yeah, I was like, that was clever. I was like, they made it a giant flightless bird. That's pretty funny.
Oh.
Yeah, my favorite legendary bird is Zapdos. He got respect though because he was in base set and fossil, so he got doubled up early on out of the gate.
See, I think Zapdos is the worst one. I'm not a big fan. Zapdos is.
I always loved him in the game. Like Moltres is my least favorite. I like Zapdos, Articuno,
Really?
Moltres. Yeah, I think it mostly goes for the games. I don't know.
See, I never played the games.
For whatever reason, fire even. I don't think fire was. You didn't even really need it on your party. Maybe for what was it? Lorelei was she the ice one or Agatha?
Agatha.
Agatha was the ghost one, maybe.
We're talking about for what in Elite Four?
Pokemon Yellow, the Elite Four. You had Lance with the dragons. You had
Price. Was it Price?
I don't remember. I feel there was one with ice people who had Cloyster, they had Lapras.
That's Price.
Okay, but you'd get wrecked with a fire
wait,
one
hold
because
on,
they had
hold
water
on.
moves too.
I have it. Hang on.
I think it would be Price because that's like Price's Lapras is.
I have
one
the
of
Price's card. Hang on.
So Lorelei's the first one with ice. Dugong though too. Like you couldn't use fire super effective against ice, but you'd get wrecked because they all had water moves too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Then
it's
you had
Price, I
Bruno.
think.
Bruno with all the fighting.
Yeah.
Like I remember Articuno destroying Lance, who had the dragons, and then Agatha had the Gengars and the Golbat Haunter, which I guess
Still one of the coolest Zapdos artworks.
That is a cool card.
The vending hollow Zapdos. It's a cool card.
yeah, I feel like I just remember Zapdos and Articuno doing a lot more for me when I was doing 100 laps of the Elite Four. That's why I like them better, primarily.
Oh, my cards fell out of order.
Oh man, I guess we'll give that one to you, Dan.
We've got another pretty solid one for our next question.
And Braces wasn't a solid one. Is that what you're saying?
No, another one. Yeah, we've had a lot of we have a record-setting questions. I think we have 22 or 23, and there's some bangers for sure. Solid questions.
Yeah,
How
definitely.
many do we have left?
A decent amount.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to hang the whole time.
Like 8, maybe.
I think we have 7 left.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking we have like 20 left or something.
Oh no,
okay.
no.
Okay.
I think this one's you, Nick.
Your average player. If you could make a Pokemon set, what would it be? Name, poster Pokemon, playable or collectible, maybe both, tops or TCG, subset or no, numbered, maybe. That's a cool question. So if I were making a Pokemon set, it would be all about collectability. Playability doesn't matter. It would 100% be a TCG set. I'm not a fan of tops at all, and I think it would be more so like a specialty set, like Celebrations, Hidden Fates, one of those versus just the standard sets. Numbered, I don't like the idea of numbered either, so we wouldn't do numbered. But it would just be like. I really liked Celebrations because it brought back all the older generations and WotC, and so Celebrations was an awesome set for me. So I guess my answer to that would be like a Celebrations 2.0, where you're just doing more WotC. I would have loved to see the Shining Gyarados in Celebrations. That would have been so. Maybe that'll be my poster Pokemon is Shining Gyarados to go along with the Shining Magikarp. And then I guess it would just be more like reprints of the WotC Pokemon. Getting into the EX era, but mainly WotC. Because just going off of Celebrations, that's been my favorite modern set to open in a long time. And so I think I would want to kind of recreate that with more Pokemon from when we were growing up. And And I guess that could be the name too. We'll call it Celebrations 2.0. I'm terrible with naming.
Pokemon lately is just taking half of a prior set's name.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Like Lost Origins, Lost Thunder, Ancient Origins, Evolving Skies, Roaring Skies, and I guess similar to Evolutions, but a little bit different. But yeah, they're seeing a lot of memes out there about what the next set's gonna be. It's gonna be like Crimson Blast or just Fishmash or two different names before. Crimson Powers would be the real big one. I mean, Crimson Invasion and Emerging Powers, the
Crimson Powers,
banger set right
the absolute
Evolving Powers.
Yeah, the monster sets that those were, like combining forces. That would be quite the set. But
Crimson Powers.
For me, or I guess Emerging Invasion.
Emerging Invasion. There you go. Imminent Invasion. Emerging Invasion.
Next two sets to start the Scarlet Violet block. Emerging Invasion and Crimson Powers.
That's where Pokemon dies.
Yeah. That would create the lull that I talked about like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, though, if I could build a set, I actually like Tops and I like the serialized stuff. So I'm all about, like, again, Tops is looking for work. They get in touch with Pokemon. They do like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan to just release Tops series 1 through 10. I want every card, the whole Pokédex to be accessible. Base, Sparkle, Spectra, Techno, whether they do do that or whether they do new ones, but like multiple levels of parallel, with the ultimate chase being like 1 of 1 is a little too crazy, but I want some low numbered cards. I'm probably not even going to ever own any of them. I'm not going to transact in them, but chasing them and just imagine they do a 1 of 1 Charizard or even a 1 of 10 Charizard, and for that thing to just go for $1 million, to just blow past every card, all the history, all the rarity, and then like this ultra modern, just it would half make me sick, but it would half be hilarious. So yeah, that would be it would be like a series of cards alongside the TCG. Give me those fancy, like you spend $1,000 and you get like a suitcase with 10 cards in it. Like a flawless style. That'd be crazy. What about you, Joe?
So I actually made my own set of cards at some point. So
I remember you talking about this at one point.
Joe's Agron.
Nice.
So, and this is what I would choose as an answer to. So, me and my friends made a fake card set, and we wanted it. So, one of my favorite concepts that they have never revisited it was the gym stuff, Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge, the gym leader stuff. Yeah. I think that every single generation should have a gym set. And if our concept was an e-reader gym set, an e-reader themed gym set, like we wanted, because at the time we wanted them to do a Neo gym set. And obviously they had already moved on to e-readers, so we thought it would be cool to have like an e-reader themed gym set. So that would be my top pick, because we never got to do it, would be an e-reader, bring back e-reader, pick your generation, pick your favorite generation, but make a gym set out of it in the e-reader style. Make it Rayquaza. I don't know. Pick whoever. Just pick a popular Pokemon and throw it on the thing. Other cool concepts. I had 2 other ideas, which I would really like to see. Would be like something like Team Aqua versus Team Rocket versus Team Magma, like an actual evil team versus an evil team set. I think that would be cool from 2 different generations, like Team Rocket versus another team from another set, from another generation. I think that would be cool. You could bring in Dark Pokemon, and then the Delta species was some of my favorite cards ever made. So if they could make another Delta species for just like the new Pokemon, like a Sword and Shield Delta species set, I think that would be pretty cool too. Would be my top 3 choices. But yeah, there's all sorts of like really cool concepts that they could do that bring back that doesn't have to like increase the rarity level. Just bring in different, like bring back Delta species. Why not? It was freaking awesome. Like you have like grass Snorlaxes and stuff. Like it's just they just looked cool. I don't know.
I think shining alt arts are inevitable. They're coming in the next couple years, I would think.
What about shining waifus?
Oh boy, there we go.
The alt art, the invert color palette waifu.
You could get into trouble with that, I think, though.
Probably.
Yeah, interesting though. When I was, you made me think of when you showed your like custom card thing you made. When I was younger, and I can picture the notebook. It was just one of those composition notebooks with like the black and the white all over it. The Mead composition notebooks, I think. I definitely drew up, and I can't picture what I invented Pokemon, like not
That's
just cards,
awesome.
but like when I was younger. I don't remember how many. At least my sister and I both. I believe she made some too, but I made at least 5 to 10 different species. Drew a card, made some attacks.
See,
I have searched and searched for that notebook. Probably lost the time, probably in a landfill.
that's the good stuff right there, though. That's the stuff
I would love to find that and like make a YouTube video about it, go through it, look at how awful all of it was, but it would be like my awful. It would be that's like my white whale right now that probably doesn't even exist anymore.
Good question.
Yeah. So we've got 3 in a row right now for Echo.
Oh, okay.
Man, you're on the spot here.
So Nick and I can take a nap.
Good thing I didn't leave early. Okay.
You're on the hot seat.
All right. Question for myself. When looking at the collection and memories you have attached to certain cards, how do you decide on selling or grading some? Very good question. Well, I think I mentioned earlier in the podcast that I've managed to get to more or less the spot. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm close to achieving my goals, and I was able to do that with very strategically letting go only certain pieces from my collection. And those were mostly duplicates. Although I am having, we all have to remember, guys, and my fiance reminds me of this too. We can't take this stuff with us. And she has no idea. So she asks me, because she knows what these cards are worth. And she asks me, she's like, if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, what do I do with all this stuff? And I think about that, and I really do, guys. And any collector, let me give you another good example. So I grew up collecting Transformers. That was my number one love, my number one passion. Transformers. Action figures were always, it was a thing I did with my dad. I couldn't buy them in stores. I went to flea markets with him to pick up ones where I could. My goal was to have all of Generation 1, the original from 1984 to 1989, the original series, all series 1 through like 6, all of them mint and sealed box. Just, I wanted every figure mint and sealed box. Never even came close to achieving that goal. Along the way afterwards, obviously they've started to make Transformers again. They picked back up in the middle of the 90s, and they pretty much haven't stopped with one iteration or another. And I got to a point where I was buying them, looking at them, putting them in another box. And then I went to move, and I realized how much of this I actually have. And I took a step back, and I realized what I could do with this money instead of these things that I never even look at. Why am I still buying these? I'm not even getting any enjoyment out of them anymore. I'm just buying them because I have to have them all. Like, I have to have them. That's my goal. But why? Like, I started to realize that there's more important things in life than physical, tangible things as I sit here with a ton of Pokemon cards still around me. So I do find that collecting Pokemon is a lot easier of a hobby than collecting action figures. It takes up a lot less space. So I don't feel like the majority of my collection, there's shelves up here you can't see, fits on one bookcase. Plus, probably I could fit if I was really pushed to it, I could fit everything I would want to keep and not get rid of on 2 bookcases. Which, yes, they have a lot of value, but they also have no value to me. Like, I know it's really hard to say. The money I put into those is dead, gone, and spent. My cost basis on those cards is 0. I get a lot of personal fulfillment having complete sets that I completed along the way. That I opened, like a set would come out, I'd buy a bunch of it, I'd make decks out of it, I'd play with my friends, we'd trade. That'd be that binder. The next set would come out, I'd rinse and repeat with my friends. So I never completed. I mean, I completed the sets to have the sets, but I also did it in a very organic way where if I don't ever sell them, it doesn't really bother me. Like, the fact that they have value is almost a secondary concern to me, as long as I achieve my primary goal in life, which I am close to doing. However, I do try to balance that with what my fiance is bringing to my attention of, I need to know what to do with these if anything ever happens to you. I've thought about maybe entrusting somebody like Jake or somebody like Rusty, reaching out at some point and going, hey, if anything happens, can my fiance reach out to you to curate this collection for me and actually, sell it? Because I would trust, or somebody like one of you guys, somebody I could trust that could move the collection for her and kind of like will it down to her in a way. But I'm very fortunate that I don't have to give up very many cards that I have memories attached to. So I'm not in that financial position. Now, if you are your average player, if you are in that position, you need to take a step back and you need to realize it's just cardboard. There are more important things in life. Your family comes first. If you need the money, take the money. It's just cardboard. You can't take it with you. If it's going to change your life, do it. If it's not and you value the card, keep it. That's my best advice for that one.
Yeah, it makes me think of a video I made. It was Monday. It was earlier this week. The concept of enough. And I kind of talked about broader life. I see myself, hopefully I have another 50 years or more, but within the next 20, I think I'm going to get down to where I can fit my entire collection in one bookshelf plus a suitcase or a briefcase, because and inventory will be a side. If I'm still doing this full time, if I'm still all just Pokemon, inventory will be separate. But like you said, I really resonated with me when you said the whole Transformers were in boxes. You didn't see them. The best cards in my collection are at the PWCC vault and at the safe deposit box. I talked about it a bunch when I sold the 2 trophies to Rusty. I love the cards, but I don't even see them. I don't see them at all. It's stressful to see them. I brought all 4 of those cards with me down to Charlotte. And part of me, like the whole weekend, I was just thinking about them, where they were, what would happen. And they're insured. Like I have a business insurance policy where technically when I'm like traveling with them, it's all covered, but it's still stressful. I had a complete, beautiful ETB collection. I really liked the ETBs, Plasma Storm to Champion's Path at the time that I finished it. And it was all in totes and boxes. And there was stress about years from now, will the seals, will humidity changes, will this, that happen where they get cuts and dents and dings in them, whatever. I wasn't displaying them. I wasn't appreciating them. So a lot of that led me to move on from them. From here into the future, I do this full time. I do a lot of my savings with it. I'm a net seller. And there's certain parts of my collection that are like very few, though, that I'm not going to sell. The Charizard I just pulled on stream, the Charizard I pulled in Vegas, my childhood binder, but most other things have a number. And I've had similar conversations with other people deep into the hobby about if they were to pass, about if I were to pass. I need to further work on it, but like a will tied into the will / directions for if I pass at some point, numbers of who to call, who to reach out to, how to log into my PWCC, send them to auction, how to log into Troll and Toad and set all the things up, the prices. And you don't like to think about it, but you got to think about it.
Got it. Yeah.
When you have kids and stuff, especially. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Nick?
I've always viewed everything as like, I like to joke and say my collection is my retirement plan. That's it. Then not necessarily true, but in a way it is, because I can't see myself keeping. I honestly can't see myself keeping everything or anything. When I get up to like 70, hopefully 80. If I don't have someone in my family who really wants something within my collection, what am I going to do holding on to it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I can honestly see getting to a point where it's not going to happen for a really long time, but getting to a point where I just sell everything that I have.
It's emotional, though. It is definitely emotional if you let go of certain pieces that are.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Will people be there to buy it?
What was that?
That's another good point.
Will people be there to buy it in 50 years?
Let's hope
when we're all selling.
That is true.
I'm gonna sell in 49 years because I know you're selling in 50.
Well, maybe I'll just make a nice cardboard house and live in that then.
I've talked about it other times, but I'm involved in a hobby that's like literally dying, and I don't think Pokemon is gonna go the same way as that is. But like beer steins, specifically for like a brewery local to me, all the biggest collectors are in their 70s, and there's a handful of people like me getting into it, but not nearly enough to replace the people that are literally dying out of the hobby. And will Pokemon, and 50 years is a long time. There's plenty of time. You don't need to sell everything tomorrow, because in 50 years, people might not be there to buy your stuff. But it's a consideration. It's something to think about for if the money is like useful to you, and if it's a substantial enough part of your net worth that it all becoming a liquid or prices going down would hurt your future or prospects of whatever you're going to do in life. Something to consider.
But does it bring you joy?
Yeah. And for me, when it's sitting across the country in a vault, not much. I mean, I can look at the pictures the same way on eBay if there's someone else's.
Do you actually like the stuff that your collection in your house? Do you look through that like on a regular basis, every week, every month?
I hated that PSA opened this $18 tier, but like when I was going through those cards, it made me raid my binders. And it was fun to look through them because I haven't looked through them in so long. And I have such a backlog. I'm so busy with it that like I haven't much. I do from time to time, but no, the majority of what I see is like WotC and Ultra Modern, because they're the ones that I have the most of. They're the ones that the most is printed of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. It's been a long time since I've looked through anything in my collection.
You made me pull out a binder right now just to look through something I haven't looked at in forever. One of my favorite sets is Team Rocket Returns. And like, so this is like what I mean though. Like, okay, so this is how I used to collect, and y'all are gonna kill me. So like each page doesn't just have the card on it, it has a pocket full of cards. So I probably I probably have like 12 hollow. I have no idea how many cards I have. I don't have an inventory. I don't know. Like I don't know. I would just buy boxes until I completed the sets.
Mm-hmm.
however many I had was however many I had, you know. But I did like to complete the set, so I do have like a complete reverse set. I was like I wanted like a full complete reverse set of a lot of these EX sets does look really good in a binder. Like it does. There's something that's just soothes me about because I always did the one on the front and the reverse on the back of the page. So like this page is you have all of these, but on the back you have the reverses. So I always knew which ones I was missing too by an easy flick through. And it was just something so soothing about completing the whole set and having every slot filled. It was like, oh, I don't know.
For a very short time, I was doing that when I got back into the hobby with like Phantom Forces Onward.
Oh, cool.
Like I'm not OCD at all. A lot of people will say OCD this, OCD that. I just didn't like when, like, thinking of Phantom Forces, you'd go through one through whatever, and then you hit like Gengar EX, and there's no reverse holo to go behind it. So you'd be looking through your binders, and I just didn't like the look and the feel of that.
True.
So I'm just like, screw reverses. I'm just gonna collect the regular set.
True. I get that. Oh, but yeah, I haven't actually looked. Like it brings me joy knowing that I have them. That I know like I can look at every one of these binders just by the name on here, and I can automatically put myself where I was like with like at that era. Like I remember opening all of this stuff. I don't have to go. I've gone through it. I know what it is. Like I don't have to go back through it. I what I want to do is start to go to League again and actually start to interact with some more people again like I used to. But again, it's a time thing. Like I have a family now, and like it's really hard to go and run a league 4 hours on a Sunday. You know, like there's stuff we got to do. You know, we're never going to have that bliss point in our lives again where we just don't have any responsibility and we could just go and do whatever we want. Interesting.
Well, time is definitely the limiting factor.
Yeah, we've got two more for you. You're still on the hot seat.
All right. What do I think of the Pokemon TCG and the competitive scene since my return? Power creep is ridiculous. Thoughts on new abilities and mechanics, enough deck diversity. So interesting. So I did just pop out that card I made. Back when I made that card, my friends were all like, that card is OP. You can't make that. And I'm sitting there looking at this now like, you couldn't even play this right now. Like the power I did a video on actually AD&M. I have a video on my channel about, I think it's called something like what's wrong with modern and how I would fix it. And I touch on a lot of these topics in that video if you want to go give it a watch. I do not like 3 prize Pokemon. I don't think that was a good thing. I don't think that's a good choice. I don't think knocking out 2 Pokemon to win a game is good. I think that deck diversity is getting better now. I think there's been more recently with Nationals and with Pokemon Go. I do follow the meta. I do like a lot of the decks that are coming out now. There's a deck, like one of my favorite ways to win the game is decking your opponent. It's a very underrated concept that Pokemon does not play up very much. Magic does.
The mill deck, right?
Mill deck, absolutely. In Magic, that's a thing. Like that is an archetype in Magic. So like there's 3 ways to win in Pokemon for those that don't know. Obviously, take all 6 prizes, mill your opponent, or knock out their last remaining Pokemon they can't promote from the bench. Those are the 3 ways to win. My favorite 2 types of archetypes were always mill and spread damage. Any sort of spread damage where like you do a small amount of damage, but you do like you might have like a 2 energy attack that does like 100 damage, but it's spread, and then you can pull out, like I used to play like cards that would de-evolve your opponent's Pokemon. Anyway, I like decks that have some sort of strategy other than just, I'm going to come here and smack you for the most amount of damage and knock you out. Like that's very boring to me. But this is not a new thing. In general, players gravitate towards what's going to win, not what's necessarily the most fun, innovative, neat thing to do. I have this shelf here. I haven't taken them all apart. Let's see if I can pan the camera. All those are my decks that I still have, and there's more even on the other side. There's boxes that have like 12 or so decks in them, just Pokemon Center Japan boxes. I probably had at one point 40, 50, 60 different decks that I would make. I would make decks for lots of sorts. I liked deck construction. I thought it was fun. I liked the I liked the creativity behind it. I don't see a lot of people doing that anymore. I don't do that much anymore. I have one legal deck right now, one legal deck that I've put together since playing again. And again, it comes down to time. It just comes down to time. Back when I used to do this a lot, I had no social life. I had friends, but they were at Pokemon League. I had no obligations. I was in college. I was a loner. I was a shut-in. Like, I would sit at my desk at night, watch Star Trek on my computer, and make Pokemon decks. Like, there was nothing else to do for me. Like, yeah, and I'm not necessarily like that anymore. So, I don't know. I want to be able to better answer this question, and I feel guilty that I can't answer this better. But I intend to try in the next year. It's one of my goals is to consistently go back to Pokemon League and make the time to do it, because I do miss it. I really do miss it.
Honestly, part of the reason that a few different times I've contemplated, should I learn the game and should I try to play it? Like, I've bought and collected the full art Pikachus, and I've had the thought, should I try and go win it? But I'm like, that would be, well, one, I wouldn't be able to. I'm realistic. Two, it's like, I don't want to start playing it and really love it, because it would be such a time suck. Like, especially now having kids and stuff, maybe someday it's a cool thought that my kids would get into it, and then I could like learn it with them and play it with them and then I could justify the time, because it's family time.
Exactly.
But like now I don't want, I have a couple of video games I play. I have my wife and I make it through like one TV series every 2 or 3 months. I don't really want something that's going to take 2 to 20 hours a week from me. Because depending on how deep you get, I'm sure it could take 20 plus hours.
I was going to say, it's a lot of, it's like a sport. You have to play. You have to practice over and over and over. There's a lot of play testing involved, a lot of play testing to get really good at it. I mean, I pumped a ton of time into it. I played competitive chess, and it took less. I was better, relatively speaking, I was better with less time devotion at chess than I was at Pokemon. That gives you an idea of how much time it takes to master this card game, to actually master it. And just the travel time alone to go out just to rank up the points enough to get an invite to something like Worlds or to go to Nationals. Like, it is a time suck. It definitely is. But it can be very rewarding too. Like, I'm making it sound worse than it is, but you just got to want to do it. You got to want to do it. You got to like it. And I didn't like it until I did. I don't know. Like, when I first started collecting, I just wanted the cards. But then once I started playing the game, it does hook you. It does hook you fast too. That's fun.
The thing. I'm sure I could get really into it, because like I like board games and I like card games. There's a couple different games I play from time to time. I worry that I would really get into it, and I'd have access to build whatever deck I wanted to. I could, but I'm trying to get to where I travel to 3 events a year to vend, to buy, sell, whatever. I would need to travel to triple that to qualify. And yeah, I can't remotely get into that. Like, my wife would leave me.
Yeah. The look on her face when I told her, I was like, so I'm probably going to start to go to Pokemon League on Sundays after I go to the gym, because it's like really, really close by. She's just like,
yeah,
if it makes you happy. And I was like, it just made me feel guilty. I was like, all right, never mind. I'll come home and cut the grass or whatever. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I'd like to learn at one point, but right now I have no idea how to play.
You wait for the mobile game and then scan all your code cards on your phone. Wait for
There we go.
Oh, another one. All right. Oh, Reeks. I like this guy. I like Reeks. He's awesome. Do you have any insight as to the distribution of EX Dragon City State National Championship promos? Cool. Okay. So, yes. So, you got to remember 2004, very low point in Pokemon. Cities. So the cities and the states they were all participation cards. They were all participations. You got one for attending. So if I remember right, so states not every state had a tournament. New Jersey, I think the turnout was like 50 players. So if I had to take a guess at the amount of distributed copies of the state card, I'd say what, say 20, maybe 20 states had. I'd say 20 sounds about right. I'd go 20 times 50. So what, 1,000? Say 1,000, maybe say call conservative, say 2,000 copies of the state card, the Charmeleon. The city card, you could probably double that. There were way more cities than there were states. I mean, I personally ran a bunch of cities, but there were less players at cities. Cities didn't have as high as turnout because there was more of them to go to. So it's not as many people, but it'd be your average of like, you'd fill a game store, say 20, 30 people at a city championship, maybe. There were multiple of them run throughout a state though. So maybe times that by 4. So say maybe 3, 4, 8,000, somewhere in that range, but definitely less than 10 of the Charmander. And then nationals that year, I think there was less. I can tell you for certain there were less than 500 competitors because I remember not hitting the 500 number. So I think there were only like 200 to 300. If I remember, everybody got one. You got one for participating. I judged that year. Judging and staff it wasn't a set number. It was a stack. You were handed some. So I think I got a total of 15 to 20 total for staffing the event. But there were only like 8 staff members total, 8 to 10, if I remember right, for staffing nationals. So I would imagine the rest of them, if there were spare copies, they didn't get distributed. They probably went back to headquarters. I don't know what happened to them. I don't think they made it into the wild. So you'd say 20 times 10, 200. There's less than 500, 600 copies, my guess, of the National Championship Zard. That's my guess, if I had to put a guess to it, based off rough math.
I'm trying to pull up the PSA Pop report for it.
I graded 10 of them. I still have a couple I haven't graded.
Could just off first impression, like those numbers feel really low to me. I would think they would be higher, but that's a guess.
There were not a lot of people at nationals that year. There were not. And everybody got one. You got one for attending.
Like Charizard alone, there's 300 graded. There could be some regrades in there, but I'd be shocked if 10% of them were graded.
Now, somebody did say that they got a bunch from Sweden.
I was going to bring that up.
Okay.
Were you talking about that in a recent podcast? Because I heard somebody.
I was talking about. I don't remember if I was talking about it in Discord or not, though. I think the Europe also got the Charizard that year, but I do not remember. That's not because I don't remember if Europe got the Charizard that year or not too. But it may have been that each nation that had nationals got the state. But there were only a couple nationals. So I think France used to have a national. Germany had a national. There were only a couple countries that had nationals, and you could win your national to get an invite to Worlds. So I think that the Charizard was handed out that year at Europe's nationals too. So that may be where the extra ones are coming from.
Yeah, just like seeing 300 graded, I don't think, I mean, complete guesswork, but I don't think 100 of those would be cracked and regraded. I would think at least 250 unique were graded if there's 300 graded. And this is PSA only. I'm sure CGC's done some. I'm sure BGS has done some. To me, this would feel like there's at least 2,000 of them.
Maybe. And see, that's the thing that's really hard to distinguish those is the amount that were distributed versus the amount of.
That's the thing that they could have
exactly
like 2,000 is only 20 sheets. They could have easily rattled off 20 sheets of these. They only needed maybe 5 sheets, 3 to 5
Well,
sheets.
you would think too that they would bring more than they need. I mean, you're not going to run short. Like, shit, we ran out. Like, you can't get one. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, there could have been 50, 20 packs that didn't get handed out, and somebody, hey, those go shred those, and then they didn't go get shredded. You never know. That's always like the wild card out there. So I think it's very valuable to hear like what was there, what was being handed out. But just looking at the pop report, it feels like there's quite a bit more.
Could be, yeah. I can say that after the event was over, though, nobody was given whole packs of them. Nobody was given packs. It was like here's some. Thanks for helping. That sort of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I wish we'd get the official numbers. It would be so cool, but it'll never happen.
I don't know if they know them. They probably do.
That's probably what it is.
Metas,
they just
UFO.
We get the official numbers for some TCGs.
Yeah, TCGs nobody cares about.
But the box is really shiny.
I love the E-Series boxes, and these ones are like shiny, like the E-Series boxes.
They are cool boxes. I do like the E-Series boxes. I'm so mad in one of my moves. So, like, Dan, whenever you talk about how you opened one of every box, I kept all my empty boxes. I had folded them flat, and I had a stack of them, and I would rubber band them together.
Yep.
And it's probably the one thing of my entire Pokemon collection I can't find was my stack of boxes. I probably tossed them in a move, and I'm so mad that I did that.
Yeah, I have a couple totes worth. I sold some of my duplicates during the boom because I was selling like Aquapolis empty booster boxes for like $200 or $300.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to look for them. I was like, "Yo, I don't want this cardboard. Somebody else can have it for $300."
I was offered at one point $5,000 on my complete set of all of them empty, but I think I could have pieced it out for a lot more than that. I just declined it. I want to do a video at some point where I recap. I'll have behind me a stack of all the boxes, and I'll recap when I bought them and how much I paid, and then just kind of do like how much it would cost to replicate today. That's been on my to-do list for several months now.
You've been talking about that for at least since you started your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was going to say I could have easily been talking about it for over a year because I've been on YouTube for like 16 months now.
So I have to get up in 4 hours. So I'm just curious how many more questions we got.
We have a couple more. The next one is really quick.
Okay.
Whatever happened to the Aoki fundraiser Pokemon poster? That was one of the times that I turned my camera off. I went and I grabbed this because I knew this question was coming. I framed it, and it used to be right here, but then I redid like the shelf stuff, and it's just not there right now. But it's outside of my office wall. I see it on my way in.
Those are cool. I like those.
Yeah.
So that was a quick one. We only have 3 more, counting this one. So, Mr. Walrus, all 3 are from him. So, hey y'all, wanted to know what kind of safe, if any, you use to store your cards. I'm gonna do a video at some point showing them. I think they're Remington or Winchester. There's some like they're designed for guns. We're probably going to be, we're not even monetized anyway, so I don't think YouTube likes that word, but they're like fire rated gun safes. That's what I use. I'll do a video at some point showing my vault and how I store and how I like, if my house were to burn down, most things should be protected, hopefully, but maybe not. How about you guys?
I'll go quick. I don't have anything. If anything happens, Will Post is getting an email.
Uh-oh.
I was terrible before 2020. Before 2020, I had everything in my closet and under my bed. But then when I got back home from my shipping job in November 2020, seeing all the prices, that was the first thing that I did. Was I went out and got a really nice gun safe type thing where it's it looks like a gun safe from the outside, but on the inside, it's got all shelving. It doesn't have like a big open space for actual guns.
That's how mine are too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
How
come
much
with
was
the
it?
shelves for both.
How much?
Mine
What?
didn't come with shelves for both. I feel like I got gypped.
Mine has like multiple. Actually, if anyone has ever watched PokeVault, he's shown his in his garage. I have the same exact one. I have 2 of them.
I haven't seen him. I'll have to go check him out and see what safe you have.
But they're very much, they're like fire protected boxes. They're not really safe at all. With a crowbar in 10 minutes, you could be inside of them. They're not really for burglar protection. But when you combine them with multiple like cameras, and this day and age, it's so easy to have cameras and security systems and
Oh yeah.
all the good stuff isn't here anyways. So that's for like, it's full of $20 slabs that it's not worth not worth coming. Next question. How do you all feel about cracking out cards and selling them raw? As some prices eclipse that of 8s and 9s, is it ethical to not disclose the previous grade? If you sell a raw card, whether it was an 8 or a 9 or whatever, there's going to be some amount of people out there trying to buy it to grade it a 9 or a 10. To me, like, I don't do it because I understand that the scenario exists sometimes. I don't want to crack out an 8, sell it to someone who thinks it's going to be a 10 and pay a premium, because then they're just going to be upset and return it. To me, once it's graded, if I'm going to crack it, it's only to regrade it to try to get a higher grade. But like ultimately, I'm going to sell it graded. I'm not going to sell it raw personally.
Yeah, I'd have the same answer as you. Mainly because I don't spend the time looking up each individual card. For me,
Yeah.
So like I probably wouldn't know that this card raw could sell for more than the PSA 7 copy that I have. But yeah, also from an ethical standpoint, I think I would feel bad doing that.
There are times where I've seen like, hey, I sold this WotC first edition card, Troll and Toad Near Mint, for like $100, and then I'm actively listing a PSA 8 for like 80. And I've thought like I should just practice and send it. And I know if it's a PSA 8, it's gonna get Troll and Toad Near Mint. The joke out there, you might get that with a 6 or a 5, or I think that joke is like too far. I don't think Troll and Toad Near Mint is that bad. Plus, they stand by it and they accept returns. Anyways, I've noticed it a couple times, but I've never like cracked it and sent it. But to me, it would be fair play because Troll and Toad has condition guidelines, and they stand by them. They offer returns, so I wouldn't do it myself on my own eBay. Maybe someday though, I'll crack out 100 cards to send to Troll and Toad to sell them as near mint.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
My business model employs utilizing consignment at any given time. I can consign slabs. I cannot consign raw cards. So if push comes to shove and I need to select all full send, all my slabs in my house, I can do that. I can't do that with raw as easily. So I prefer the slab. Also, if you're smart, Mr. Walrus, you'll know how to get the extra value. You'll know how to get your slab up to the value of the raw. I'm going to say that. If you want to know more, contact me. But there's a way to sell them for equal value. You just have to be smart about it. It involves places like Whatnot, but there are ways to sell above market. So I don't really feel the need. It doesn't happen that often. I'll be honest. Like, I mean, yeah, I've had it actually on a couple times where I've pulled some PSA 6s recently on some like Team Rocket Returns EXs, and I've looked up the prices, and I'm like, the raw is like $20 more than this PSA 6, and I'm like, I could probably crack it and sell this raw on eBay, but I'll just take the $20 hit. I don't care. It's whatever. If I need to full send this at some point, I can send it. It's. I don't like dealing in raw cards.
Yeah, graded cards are nice because it gives you like a generally accepted judge of condition, and you're way less likely to have returns or issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page on that one. One final question for you two from Mr. Walrus. Where were you guys during PK's live stream when we went all 12 of us?
Yeah, PK messaged me. I was like, dude, he's like, I was with my fiance just spending family time. These things always happen at night, and
Yeah.
I don't sign on to YouTube at night. I typically don't. Like if it's like after 9 o'clock or whatever, I'm watching TV with my family. Like I'm not, and even if it was that one, I would have made an exception and definitely would have loved to have hopped on. But in general, like if Jake's live at night, I'm gonna watch that on a replay. Like I'm not typically up till 1 a.m. like I am now. Like I got to get up most days at 5 a.m. So I'm not. I'm an early person. I'm not a late person. I work a full-time job and I stream 20 hours a week. So
we appreciate you very much making the
oh
exception.
no, this is
Yes, definitely.
this one was one I really wanted to do for sure. But like if Jake's just ran, like I love Jake, and you know it's different if he wants to schedule. But if he's just like they're fun, the live call-in shows. But I'm probably not going to hop on a live call-in show at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
like
I've been enjoying my midday lives the last couple of weeks, and I think
they're
I'm going to
cool.
make it a weekly staple. It helps some of our European viewers, and for me, it's nice because it doesn't take away from family time. I get the every other week exception. I'm allowed to do the podcast, and then my wife is a teacher, and she does a lot of work like prepping her curriculum and all that. So when Jake hits me up, hey, instead of watching that show tonight, why don't we be productive tonight? I'll go on YouTube, you do your curriculum, and then tomorrow night we'll watch a movie or whatever. But yeah, the night ones are tough. After 9 p.m. though, it is like past the kids' bedtime, so I just got to make a deal with the wife, and then I can sort them out from time to time.
You guys can also get up later the next day too.
That is the nice part.
Yeah,
I am
like,
not a morning person whatsoever.
That is very, very nice to be able to. Oh yeah, I'll start after lunch tomorrow. I'll sleep till 11, and
I have not slept. The latest I have slept in the last 5 years might be 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's like even on the weekends. Like I just can't.
see. I don't do it a lot. It's only like during the weekday. My wife won't let me sleep past 9 on the weekends. Like I'm up by 9. The daughter will get thrown on the bed and she'll crawl and drool on my face and stuff.
I physically can't. It doesn't matter if I went to bed at 6 a.m. My ass would be up in like 5 hours. Like 4. Like I cannot sleep. Like even on nights where it's like I have nothing to do the next day, I can sleep as late as I want. 8 a.m. 7:30, and I'm like, I'm up. All right, let's just go.
I kind of wish I was a morning person, but I cannot go to bed early, and I cannot wake up in the morning.
I'm always up like Monday through Friday. Most times I'm up by 8 because my wife leaves or babysitter gets here, and so yeah, I'm usually going by 8. But if I was on like Sunday night, we were on YouTube till like 1:30, and then Jake and I talked till like 3 or 3:30. So I think I started work that day at like 10 or 10:30. Other than that, though, if it's a weekend, the wife always wakes me up by 9. So yeah, I can only sleep if it's cutting into work time. But like tomorrow morning, I have office hours at 9, and then I'm live on YouTube at 10. So
Gonna be a busy day there.
I'm gonna sleep till 8:30, shower, and then be at it.
Cool.
There we go.
And Nick, you were on vacation, right?
Yeah, I was actually. I had just left, or it was the Friday that I had gone down to Martha's Vineyard for vacation, and I had gone to bed early Friday night to wake up early Saturday morning to go fishing. So I was sound asleep when they went live, and I woke up the next morning to a whole bunch of messages from different people asking where I was. So I did go back and rewatch that live, and I wish I was there for it because it sounded like a good time. But hopefully they make it a monthly thing. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I had my phone in Do Not Disturb, and I was like, my sister-in-law was over. I was hanging out with my sister-in-law and my wife, and then I was gonna go to bed. I checked my phone for the first time in a few hours, and I had like multiple text messages. I had Discord messages with a link, get in here, get on this. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on YouTube. You can go to bed. I'll, cause I pulled it up and it's like, I had messages saying Rusty was there. And when I pulled it up, he was already gone. But yeah, I had to join that lineup, and I was glad I did, cause I wouldn't have opened that pack otherwise. And then I pulled that.
That is true. That is true.
Cool.
Although your other packs now, not going to be able to get the same amount.
I know, because I'm completely transparent and open and honest. So when someone asks, I'm going to say, yeah, Charizard was pulled. And statistically speaking, things don't really change. Like there are 2-3 Charizard boxes. The odds don't really.
I think what Gary said, he got like 3 or 4 from one box.
I think he got 3 from a box that all graded PSA 10 or something. Like long ago.
It was something crazy like that.
Wasn't one of Leonhardt's boxes a 2 Charizard box too? Not Leonhardt. Logan Paul.
The Shadowless one in Vegas, Super Duper Danny pulled one, and I pulled one. So that was a 2 Shadowless one.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, they do exist. Like it could still happen, but like every time I've sold a heavy, almost every time I've sold a heavy pack, they ask, "Hey, do you know what's been pulled?" And when you hear that none of them have been pulled, people get more excited. When I say Charizard has been pulled, people are gonna be like, can you knock $50 off? Or
exactly.
Give me that Blastoise price.
And the thing is, it's probably gonna hit the 10. I'm gonna have to pay $600 for the grading fee, and I want to keep it because, like, tied to going back to the earlier question, that one's tied to a memory. I have a PSA 9, a CGC 9, a BGS 9, a MAP 9. Like at one point after the boom, when the prices came back down, I sold all my PSA 9s anywhere between $2,000 and $6,000. And I reacquired a bunch of them, different grading companies in Mint 9. But if and when mine hits a 10, to justify keeping that, I'll probably have to sell all my other ones, because it'll be painful if I have to pay $600 upcharge on a personal.
It's just $600. You can afford it.
I can afford it, but like, I'll just wish I sent it to CGC probably if it.
Oh my god.
PSA 10, but it would have been a CGC 9 if it's a PSA 10.
I sent in all my fan club trophies and a bunch of other stuff for personal collection, and I got hit with the upcharge bill, and that one hurt because it was like $3,000. I was like, I have to eat this. Like I don't. That sucks.
Ouch.
I was like, I cannot even recoup any of this.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah.
But I pulled the Spectra Pikachu too, and if that hits the 10.
That's right, you did, yeah.
I think that's over $1,000 if that hits the 10. So hopefully that'll just pay for all my upcharges, and then I can sell that one and justify keeping the 10 Charizard. It'll probably get a 9 anyways, though. Like I said this elsewhere, I've pulled and graded, I think, 3 base unlimited Charizards. Most of them a few years ago when I was opening the boxes when they were like $700 a piece. But this is the cleanest one I've ever pulled. I've probably pulled 10 to 12 base unlimited Charizards. This is the cleanest one that I can remember. It's nice. Nice. Bottom left back, it's got a white dot on the corner, but so many PSA 10 WotC cards do.
Oh yeah.
Years ago, I graded so many with white dots, silvering around the front. Like, I mean,
yeah, it depends on who you're going to get that day. It really does.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to.
The 9-10 grades have so much overlap.
They do.
And the thing is, it's $1,000 PSA 9 and a $10,000 PSA 10. So if you get the right grader on the right day, that it's in the Venn diagram where the 9 and the 10 overlap. It's in the middle. It is in that, like, it can be a 10 for sure. Submitted 100 times, it's a 10 at least 30% of the time, probably. I would think. It's nice.
Have you sent it in yet?
It's out. I sent it for 50, I think, so it should be pretty quick.
Nice.
That'll be interesting to see what you get on
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I did manage to get the last of my $8 cards out today, and I was happy about that.
I sent out 3 shipments today, and all 3 of them had 2 submissions in the box. Like, I did a $30 tier, anywhere between 5 and 20 cards with each of them. And then I did,
Nice.
I think my lowest $18 was 80, and then the highest was 200.
I never actually added how many I sent in total. Doing it right now.
I've been sticking with my 195 every submission.
See, one thing I used to do, I used to always hit 500 or 200, and then I'd have a harder time remembering which submission was which, because it's like, oh, which one of the 10 200 card subs is that?
That is true.
I've done 50, 190, 200, 80, 120. I'm going to try to just like naturally whatever I get ready to go and then boxed up and send out. I'm not going to like just go for round same numbers.
Yeah, I didn't either. I got 7 orders of all different numbers. It was like, yeah, whatever. I was doing it by set. So if I pulled out Legend Maker, whatever Legend Maker plus Heart Gold Soul, so that's an order, and I would do, and I would pull out another set and go through that on PokeData, and yeah, so they are weird numbered orders.
Yeah, I'm up to 640 physically outbound or at PSA. And I think I have another 100 entered as part of a submission that I need to round out. So that'll bring me close to 800. And then I'm going to try to do one like Sunday night, but I'm going to be like at the wire.
I think you should. I don't even know what you have, but if it's what there's a lot you could send, man. You should get it in.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Probably some of what I rip tomorrow too. I'm gonna try to get a little bit of MetaZoo out with it. But I'm probably gonna do more CGC with that because it's quicker and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
How are the MetaZoo print quality on the cards? Is CGC you likely to get the 10s, or are they crap print quality?
I don't know. Wilderness. I only opened 1 box, but it was pretty clean. My box UFO. Yeah. I'm gonna open like 100. So hopefully they're all just clean and nice, but if not, like I hopefully will have some good ones to send. You would think opening that many.
You're gonna open 100 boxes?
Wow!
Man.
Not tomorrow, but that's what I'm eyeball like. That's what I'm shooting for, somewhere around there.
Why 100?
I have 400. A quarter of them.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice round number. My monkey brain likes round numbers, so I don't know how many. I'm gonna do like a 5 or 6 hour stream tomorrow. I don't know how many because I'll be engaging with chat. I might have somebody.
That's the thing is engaging.
See if anyone wants to pop in a Discord call, throw them on screen, chat with them. I don't know. Have to see. I don't know how many I'll get done during that. Like Nick, when you're mass box breaking, like, I don't know how accurate this is, and it probably didn't include much sorting, but a case an hour is what I think I used to be able to do when I was doing them during like Phantom Forces, Roaring Skies, Primal Clash. In that era, I was doing a couple cases, and I think it would take me a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. 8 to 10 minutes a box. Yeah.
Probably not fully sorted though, or maybe sorted.
No, just so you open the pack, take the 5 commons,
jungles, jungle or not jungles, trainers, energies, commons, uncommons, rares, non-holo rares. Yeah.
Yep.
And fully sorting it would be the most time-consuming part. I don't know. Because like 100 boxes, I'm not going to fully sort the auras and the commons and the uncommons of all 100 boxes. I might only do that with like 10 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the additional 80 boxes I open, it's just going to be listing the reverse hollows and the hollows and like the hitters.
Yep.
But
yeah, I think the reverse hollows are definitely the longest, just because there's so many of those, and how do you how do you go about sorting those out?
I'm probably gonna send those all to Troll and Toad. We'll see though.
Start your 99-cent eBay listings.
No, I do. I open Topps Wilderness. I opened 20 boxes of that, and I did like a multi-quantity listing, which honestly, as a consumer, as a buyer, I'm not a big fan of. Because sometimes you'll search a card, it'll be quantity 0 in their multi-quantity listing, but it'll still come up.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll have to go in and you'll have to waste your time to find that. And it sucks, but like that's the way that I'm selling my let me pull it up. I'm probably going to list my commons and uncommons a similar way, but the lowest I did was $1.95. I didn't do 99 cents. I'm like, no way.
How is that listing doing? Are you selling a bunch from it?
I have 33 sold, it says. So that's
nice. Okay.
33 sold out of like, I think I have 300 or 400 and something. So almost 10% have sold. But yeah, you go here, like look at all these out of stock. For some reason, it's not showing on there, but I can see it. That's weird. But yeah, when you click the drop down, a lot of them are sold out. And it would still come up if people searched it. But yeah, I literally have it's a picture of the box. I don't have pictures of any of the cards. I just have the name.
You gotta do a better job with the picture there. Maybe learn how to crop.
I want a Charmander in there.
Pokemon and Charmander, and it's a MetaZoo listing.
And I still sold 33 of them. I mean, come on, I'm killing it. For UFO, I'm gonna do a much better. I'll probably have a MetaZoo playmat, and I'll probably like fan out a bunch of the cards. But I'm not gonna do. I have. There's like 80 something variants in this. The UFO one, I'll probably do a listing for the bronzes and a listing for the silvers and a listing for the golds, and then one for the reverse hollows. But I'm not taking a picture of every card. It'll probably hurt it'll be stock images or not even. That's how lazy it is. It's not even a stock image. It's literally just name of the card. People are buying it though. Like I'm going to be the cheapest on. Well, I don't know if I'll be the cheapest on eBay even. That's the problem. Because I won't.
You could take pictures. Taking pictures does not take any time.
The thing is, I want this listing up like tomorrow night. Because I want it like release weekend when people open their 2 boxes and they want to fill their set. I want to help them fill their set quick.
Yeah.
You're providing a service.
Yeah.
You're such a good Samaritan.
Yeah, if you want the listing up tomorrow night, probably not going to be able to do pictures.
Hopefully, I just hit a couple serialized cards and I
hours and live stream and dinner.
I'm going to hit a couple serialized cards and pay for my full 1,000 pounds of UFO off a couple cards.
That would be nice.
It would be.
I gotta go, guys.
We're we hit all the questions.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool. This has been amazing. Thank you guys so much. I was looking forward to this. Seriously.
Thanks for
coming
on.
Anytime. That was
for the cause.
No, it was great.
As I said at the intro, I think people will really value your perspective, having had such different interactions with the hobby, so much more on the playing and the judging and all that.
Yeah, I'm always glad to answer any of those questions I can. Hit me up if anyone has any other questions. Instagram, EchoBase Collectables. If anyone has any questions about that error, I'm more than happy to share any knowledge I have. It actually saddens me that there's actually dead areas of knowledge in our hobby, or not dead, but like lacking. Like it doesn't feel right. Like I don't know, because I guess I lived through it, so I just expect everyone to have lived through it, but I guess it's not realistic. So be more than happy to always share whatever I can. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely link EchoBase Collectables on Instagram and YouTube, whatnot. Go follow them there. Buy a bunch of cards from whatnot. Super early East Coast stream times.
Yeah.
I wake up and then I see the alert and I'm like, okay, that was 2 hours ago. For Nick, it's like that was 5 hours ago.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
thanks very much for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for leaving all the questions. Ideally, in 2 weeks, catch us live on YouTube.
Yes.
Ask us your questions there and then. If you can't, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll try to get to all of them. But anything else in closing, Nick?
No, I think that was a good one. That is a wrap.
That's a wrap. We kept it under 4 hours. Hopefully
Nice.
everyone's happy with that. Seems to be we're getting a lot of commentary on our duration lately. Oh, under 5 hours. This is amateur hour. We did what we could, though. We didn't pull 4 hours. But yeah.
You can blame me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Joe. Thanks for watching,
Thank you for having
everyone.
me. Thank you.
We'll catch you all later.